What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us today. Yet another edition of Throwback Thursday. Jeff, I know you've been enjoying the content as much as I've been enjoying digging through and putting it all up and together.
I'm not gonna lie. I was trepidatious watching this, especially my stuff. I hate watching my stuff, you know that. But it's been interesting to go back and watch it because, as I said, I become less of a dick as the shows go on Talk Wrestling, which is thank God I did because the first show was so bad. But man, you have been like reaching into the vault, man. I almost feel like I want to grab Mickey Mouse on SNL. I'm like, no, protect the content. They didn't sell. So man, such good stuff to watch, and today is no exception, sir.
Yes, thank you once again to Aaron Rift of the NoDQ YouTube channel, James Hebert of the JH95 / FTW Productions, Noel Foster from the Simple Man brand, and of course, you, good sir, for the
Yes,
Jeff Meacham Network, for allowing me access to all the content that was previously discussed in private
yes,
amongst all of you guys, because there are limitations about what can and can't be posted, but
yeah. Unfortunately,
especially a big thank you once again to Aaron Rift for allowing me access to the no DQ stuff. That stuff has really helped make the process and the Throwback Thursdays succeed and thrive, I think.
absolutely.
Sit back, relax, everybody, enjoy as we bring to you yet another week of Throwback Thursday content.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
the Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Jeff Meacham Network. The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host.
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
The Renegade, JJ Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts.
I am the founder. We'll call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
The West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah.
And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies! There you go! It sells
God.
itself! Get in there!
Short his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ, give it time.
No, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that
Dumb move. Just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Ring of Honor does not have to be AEW Live. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. We kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
He's no longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
Because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen!
I literally touched everybody in the state's trash. So it's horrible, you guys.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine.
That's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Football thing. We get it on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. That's just how the thing goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
We are live on the Jeff Meacham Network, the Casa D18 Studios, James Hebert Studios, and if I'd done it on time, pay more attention to Noah Foster's channel, but I didn't because I suck. Welcome to this very special Saturday edition Open Mic Night. I am, of course, West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, and joining me in the same room, my goodness, for the first time in forever.
That's right.
My fellow dad, not always on wrestling, the Renegade JJ Williams. And man, I think once we get everybody on screen, we need to toast that, but we'll go ahead and get everybody on screen first.
Yes.
Joining us as they do, because they are awesome and we love them to pieces, is the entire Open Mic Night team and a very special bonus guest just for tonight's purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the room, if you will, Noah Foster, James Hebert, Snapboy Mike, and Dory Lou. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. Good evening, everybody.
At least tonight, anyway. So yes, we're gonna. I'm gonna take a full on. I never do this. Y'all, Mikey and Jay both know this. I don't do just straight shots because my body don't do. But because Jay and I are in the same room, he's even crazier than me. He's doing the fireball shot. He has a bigger shot glass than I do because he ultra cray. But nice use cray, which is very cringe for my son. But cheers to that, brother. There you go.
Cheers, brother. Cool.
Mine's still in the freezer at home.
We're in the car. We're gonna drive through Pigeon Forge and get to Sevierville.
Okay, so don't make it home to open a bottle.
There you go.
We're more on the road than dumber and nothing, apparently.
Where my water at? Good Lord. So we have a lot to talk about, do we not, gentlemen?
You think?
You think? Holy shit.
Pro wrestling never sleeps, and this certainly was a newsworthy week, to say the least.
To say the very least, Mr. Foster. And Josh Mansfield off the NoDQ team meetup, which, by the way, thank you to Aaron and to Greg and to Josh and to everybody. Colin was there. Virtue and his lady were there. Lady Aaron was there. Caitlin was there. Thank you all so very, very much for FaceTiming me at lunch. I really appreciate getting to see everybody. I hated not being there. The only thing I did have, I got to be with my family up here. That was definitely not a concession because I love being with this family. But if there's one thing that could dull the pain of not being with y'all in Cleveland, it was being here with my fam. So, thank you very much. And Greg says send the StreamYard chat link his way, which means we get Josh and Greg on screen. I'm okay with that.
You know what? Yes, because I don't think we have ever had Greg on open mic.
Definitely haven't had Greg on mic night ever. So let me get
Josh has filled in a couple times.
All right. So just stand by in the Josh, since you messaging me, I'll send it to you on Twitter DM as we do, my friend, you and I, or Messenger. I can do that since you just said it. Let's do that too. I'm flexible. I be Gumby up in there, and you know it's open mic night. There is no flow. There is no schedule.
Well, yeah, right. We do have our assigned topics that we want to try to run through, but aside from that, man, it's always just a free flow.
It really is. It's very much a free for all. But yeah, as Noah said, we've had this night planned out for quite a while as far as doing it on this day because of our situations. But man, Monday night alone, it's like we're gonna be busy,
right?
Shoot.
Yeah, real quick for
a bombshell drop Dudley style,
right?
Yeah,
this man. Okay, so this man's got this wrestling playlist he's got on Spotify. He's throwing drop the bombshell for Dudley's. I'm like, man, 2003 me is going, what in the hell just happened to my ears? And I'm okay with it, by the way. All right. So
real quick before anything else, JJ is coming in a bit faint. I don't know if it's because you have the microphone too far away, but
it's honestly the mic and camera are both here. So the fact that I'm closer, if I can maybe move this over here so I can actually have the microphone close, but I can also move the camera closer if I need to. Again, this is a work in progress.
USB webcam.
Yeah, right.
That's what it is.
Sound better now?
Is that any better, James?
Yeah, you sound better now. Yeah.
All right,
okay,
cool.
Good. All right.
So we got that accomplished now.
We get it. They're not here yet.
They're not here yet, but they've got the link. It's just a matter of coming through.
So as we
while we wait for them.
Yeah, as we wait for them, let me remind everybody in the room that you are more than welcome. If you are not, as Noah so eloquently put it the first time we did this, if you're not a member of the Jeff Meacham Appreciation Society /Inner Circle, you are more than welcome to super chat anything you want. And if you get any super chat, really, you get acknowledged on screen, head of the table style. If you chat, where are we at here? $4.99 through $9.98. You get your topic added to an already stacked card here. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
And anything above $9.99, you get to do exactly what, if I can get the thing, there it goes, what Josh Mansfield is doing right now and joining us on screen, live in front of the world. So there are the tiers. Let me make the paper you actually see everybody on the show here, because I do want to include everybody. There we go. No, I see Josh's silhouette.
It's raining. We're in the car and it's raining.
It's raining,
so it's dark.
Fun stuff. Josh, good to hear your voice, man. Again, I hope you and everybody at the NoDQ meetup in Cleveland had a great time.
Oh shit!
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. We missed you guys. Greg's driving and it's raining and dark, so that's why you're only seeing our silhouettes.
Fair enough.
When I drive to Cleveland. Yeah, right.
So let's all welcome Greg to Open Mic Night for the first time. First of all, let's go ahead and bring him in.
Hey, welcome.
The champ is here.
That's it. The champ is
Jeff,
here. The Wrestling Trivia
Jeff,
champion.
I'm
of
telling
this
everybody
and any
that
other world.
Go ahead, Greg.
Whenever I come to Cleveland, it always has to be terrible weather.
Hey,
Yeah, wrong.
better than
He
a
flipped
4-hour
off the
blizzard. though.
stadium when we were here.
I did. Jeff got that picture, actually.
Yeah. And I was telling JJ, the fact that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like a 5-minute walk from the airport, I didn't know it. That 4 hours was even worse in hindsight.
Oh, there you go.
Terrible. But as we said, there is a S-ton to talk about. So let's just dive right in head first, as we always do on this show. And I know a lot of people have a lot of different viewpoints on this. Mine has changed quite a bit in recent weeks. So I'll go ahead and pull up the rear, as it were, on the topic, because I said my piece on Thursday. I did want to chime in a little bit. But Ric Flair, both Ric Flair and Jim Crockett Promotions, the name itself, are coming out of retirement, if you will, to have one more event as part of Conrad Thompson, who, unlike Aaron, I'm actually acknowledging Conrad Thompson is, of course, Conrad Thompson, Ric Flair's son-in-law, the pod father, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Without question.
There it is on camera for the first time together, even though we like this big. As part of StarCast 5. Now, James, you jumped on this immediately on social media, so I'm going to go ahead and let you speak your piece on the Nature Boy at 73, Jim Crockett Promotions at dead for 35 years almost. Speak your piece, brother.
All right. So where to begin? I'll just put it in perspective for me. Ever since Dark Side of the Ring came out, I have been against booking Ric Flair in any capacity for obvious reasons. I don't think the dude should. I think the dude at this point should be recognized for his career up to being outed for the horrible, heinous acts that he's done when it comes to women and sexually assaulting them. I just wait. What happened? Wait, what happened?
Never mind. Go ahead.
All right, fair enough. I'm just not for it. So I don't even refer to him. I don't even refer to him as Flair at this point now. I refer to him as Fleer, Richard Fleer. Everything up to WrestleMania 24, I consider him Flair at this point. That's my theory on it. I can't, and that's even a stretch for me personally with what he's done.
I feel you.
I will not support this. I didn't support it when the announcement first broke. I still don't support it now. I don't think, and this is not a disrespect to Jay. Like I get why he's trying to help him. I get why other people are trying to help him. I just think that he's had so many damn chances to try to correct his behavior that at this point it's like, he could try to change all he wants now, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because there are many people that are not ever going to live the scars down that he gave him. So that's number one. Number two, why would you even put yourself in this position to book a Richard Fleer at 73 years old to have another match? Like, that makes zero sense to me from a health perspective. You are putting yourself at risk doing this, I think. I don't think this is smart at all, just from that perspective. And I know that people are saying, oh, well, he's been cleared by about 50 doctors. Yes. Were the doctors that Daniel Bryan saw? I don't think so.
Probably not.
I rest my case on this. I think it's a really, really dumb decision to even do this on both the fact that, they're booking Flair at all with his tumultuous past, and the fact that they're booking Flair just from a health perspective. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't really care if he decides that he wants to die in a ring, because I'm sure there are plenty of people that kind of want to see it happen after the crap he's done, which is probably rough to say, but it's the truth, because he really did those things, and you can't just ignore it anymore as long as people have ignored it. But even if you do care, It's because he's 73 years old and you're having him wrestle. That's irresponsible by the promotion. Love Conrad. This is a dumb move.
All right.
From
Fair
every
enough.
conceivable front.
Very, very valid points across the board. Let me go ahead and bring in the first of our two-person car. Let's see if I can make this work without a hassle here. Let's see if it'll do it. Mikey and Dory, what say you?
Here's my take on this. Flair does not need this match. His legacy, without a doubt, he is the greatest of all time. There is no debate. Okay?
No, there's always a debate, but
there's always a debate. But in my opinion, we don't need.
There we go.
He doesn't need this. This I'm going to place this in the era of this is a wrestling or any sports person that just can't let the sport go. And I'm going to really hate myself for saying this. He's pulling a Tom Brady right now.
Oh.
I'm sorry. As much as I put down Tom Brady, he's playing Tom Brady's playbook. Tom Brady could have easily just walked away. No, Brady has to come back. Flair has to come back for one more match. Shaq would have to come back for one more title run. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, George. Here we go.
They can't leave they can't leave their legacy behind.
It's not that they can't leave their legacy behind. They don't have a life outside of their sport, so they don't know what to do with themselves.
There you go.
Ric Flair does not need to have the match. He's putting himself at risk.
I agree.
That I will agree with that. Where the hell did I put the tears?
Who's he facing? Who's the guy?
Right now, there's no set of who he's facing, what kind of match it'll be. The heavy rumor at the moment is it'll be him teaming with FTR against the Rock and Roll Express and third opponent to be named. It was put out there, not by Conrad, that Ricky Steamboat was offered. Steamboat put it out there that he declined the offer, which Conrad kind of shit on him for doing. So we honestly don't, again, this is much like what we're going to talk about in our main event topic. We really don't know everything right now. So let's just kind of call it what we call it and what we know here. Let's go with Mr. Foster. Let's go ahead and bring him into the situation because I do want to hear his thoughts on this. Noah, what say you about, and again, you are, as we've, it didn't do the thing. Hang on. Can we do that? Hang on a second. No, we're working. There it goes. Let's try that now. See if that works. Nope, didn't work. We're trying. Anyway, Noah, as I try to adjust your damn screen here, you've definitely been the level-headed one of this bunch of us on the open mic nights and the commentaries in the last year. Do you? And again, Mikey made it clear in his view that he doesn't need it, but as somebody that was in Orlando for his quote-unquote last match that really meant anything, I kind of see where he's coming from in the way he felt he was forced to exit the WWE all those years ago. Do you think he needs it? Do you honestly, basically, what's your take on this overall? And before you do that, I will gladly acknowledge the super chat because thank you, PsychoJet, for the super chat. We appreciate it. $2. Would WWE bring in Tom Brady for WrestleMania? If they brought in Gronk and Tom got his money thrown his way, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I feel
I
like
definitely agree about that.
Nobody at this point would do it if the right money was offered.
Yes. But no, as far as the Nate, what do you say about Ric Flair? And not only that, but being a historian like you are, Noah, what do you think about Conrad licensing the Jim Crockett Promotions name and the music to go with it to have the full-on Nate presentation for this?
It's almost like Conrad wants to give Ric Flair maybe that moment he's looking for where he's like, I finally truly have captured everything that defines my career. But Dory pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's that old proverb that we heard from like Undertaker's Last Ride documentary.
chasing the dragon. You don't necessarily know how far you'll go for it, but you personally won't know when you need to stop it. And as she alluded to, when it comes to some of these people that lived literally in the industry, whether it defined themselves or whether it saved their lives to a degree or whether it changed their lives forever, some people can't get away from it and they don't know any other thing to do outside of it. As far as this goes, yeah, this seems a bit irrational to say of a decision. I understand that, okay, you still want to claim maybe that glory that I can still do this in the 20 by 20 squared circle that I've loved my whole life, that has defined my legacy, but I don't think I've had like the one match to say that I truly can step away from this. So it sounds like here he just wants one last big glory moment. Get the chop, get the figure four in, do the Ric Flair flop as he used to do. It's you know, it's almost like when WWE like put him on that like win or done type run in the last year of his ride in WWE allegedly up to WrestleMania 24. It was like, okay, I understand you're kind of pushing the narrative, but why are you pushing the narrative? You see how much the man's given to the industry. You see how much the man gave to your company. There was something to me that was like, yes, he's facing Shawn Michaels, and that might be, as far as WWE goes, the big match he really needed to do that was left on his resume, as he alluded to. But I didn't think necessarily it meant that he had to be done, and I feel that ever since then, it's probably just left a sour taste in his mouth. That's probably why he went to TNA, to battle the likes of Sting and recapture WCW glory. Not nearly as good. But yeah, as far as this just seems a bit out there for me, and I guess per se, it's just to, relive on old glory, because it's not a singles match, it is a trios match, it sounds like. But honestly, as a fan, I don't think he needs it. But I'm not Ric Flair, I'm not that man. That's up for him to decide in the end. I just hope he figures out before it's too late and he has another cardiac arrest.
Right, exactly.
Real
Josh
quick,
and Greg being Josh anyway being the James, go ahead real quick.
I was just gonna say, Noah, I'm pretty sure we were all thinking to ourselves, what the hell is that echo? It's actually coming from your headset. If you could turn it down a little bit, that'd be good.
Oh, the headset's echoing? Okay.
Yeah, I hear it now. There you go.
Yeah.
I got you. I'll figure it out.
There
Give me
you
a second.
Go.
Movers.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so let's move that up. Come on, there it goes. Maybe there it is. All right, Josh. Again, we've all acknowledged how youngin Josh is in the group, but he's had quite a bit of showing off his chops here. He did all the Jericho research. He went through that WrestleMania list, so I know he's got an opinion that's going to be valid and detailed. Take it away, brother.
Bring it, man.
Thanks, guys. Greg and I are going to give our thoughts on this, then we'll probably head out and let you guys do the rest of this. When it comes to Ric Flair, for me, he's not the GOAT. He's one of the greatest. And if you want my thoughts on all those categories, see the latest column that the last open mic night spawned. Yes. I would not say that Flair is a Tom Brady. Flair is a Brett Favre, meaning he's coming back, but he's not doing good. His run in TNA was crap. No, he did not want to be done when he retired from WWE. Vince forced his hand, basically. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to stick to his word, at least in WWE. Flair has, in his mind, thinks he's untouchable. He thinks that no matter what he does, he won't soil his image like Hogan has. He thinks he's untouchable, and that's just not true. I think this and some of his past problems has soiled people's thoughts on not only his image as a person, but just, I think it's how to put a slight dent in his career. From a personal standpoint, at least when it comes to this, I do not think a 73-year-old man with a pacemaker and an alcohol problem should be getting in a ring and taking any kind of bumps whatsoever. Mm-hmm. It's flat out that, and same with Jerry Lawler. I will agree with people who say that, we're going after Flair for doing this, but Lawler's doing it too. I think Lawler should definitely be watching it from his heart attack he had. So I am not in support of Flair doing this. I think he really needs to rethink things and just. The man has come close to death. I don't know how many times. I don't want this to be it for him. That's my thoughts. And here is your reigning, defending, undisputed Wrestling Trivia Challenge heavyweight champion of the world,
Heavyweight champion.
East Coast Professor Greg Cherry.
East Coast. Wow.
Wow.
That's a heck of an endorsement.
I thought that was Tanae's gimmick, but okay.
No, Jeff gave that to you, remember?
Jesus Christ.
Jeff gave you that title.
The champ is here.
But anyway, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a little bit. How old was Fabulous Moolah when she won the WWF Women's title in 1999?
70-ish.
I think she was older than Flair is now.
Yes, she was.
So we saw that training video with Flair and Jay Lethal. So I doubt that since it's a trios match, he's going to wrestle the entire time.
Right.
He will probably just do his greatest hits and call it good, slap on a figure four on somebody, and win the match. That's probably going to be it. So everybody blowing it up. It's not like he's doing, the Flair Steamboat Classics from '89. It's not like he's repeating the '92 Rumble performance. It's none of that. So I say, if he wants to do it, who are we to stop him? We're just concerned for his health more than that.
On your channel, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go. I love it. So let me ask everybody this then. JJ, but actually, JJ's had a lot to say about this, and he's been.
We'll see you guys.
All right,
love
Josh,
you guys.
you guys be
Thank you,
safe,
Josh.
for real.
Thank you, Greg. I hope to see y'all one day.
Dude, WrestleMania 39 is gonna be here. We all gonna get together. It's gonna be a thing.
As long as money works. But anyway, to be determined later. To be determined later.
Yes. Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir.
What say you as I lean? Call Willie and lean this way.
Yeah, you might have to. Yeah, there we go.
Hey now. That's it.
All right.
All right. So when I first heard about this announcement, I had a mixed bag of emotions because I totally understood and knew exactly where Jeff was going to be coming from straight out the gate, considering he was at Mania 24. And I know how he felt when Flair went to TNA, started wrestling. So I already knew kind of where he was going to be. I look at it like this. Stat Boy wants to call him doing the Tom Brady thing. Did you use that to describe Stone Cold Steve Austin when he came to WrestleMania this year?
No.
I don't think so. Ric Flair is doing nothing different than what Stone Cold Steve Austin did this year at WrestleMania. Austin's career began in Texas. He wanted to have that one final match in Texas.
Yep.
Flair has forever been tied to Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yes.
Right.
Where better for him to have his final match than under the banner of Jim Crockett Promotions?
Especially in Nashville, which they talked about on. Conrad has about 25 podcasts in a day, so it's hard to keep track of which one they mentioned it on. But they mentioned that Flair's, dark past about the birth that got messed up or whatever was in Tennessee. So he's going home to end his career.
Yeah.
You can't ask for...
Now, would it be better if it was in the Carolinas
or even
in
Minnesota? Or,
Yeah, of course. But, the bottom line here, to steal a phrase from the man I just compared this to, is his final match is going to be in Crockett Promotions.
Right. And again,
you can't write a better story for Richard Flair than that.
And again, Nashville is such a huge city for him because of the Steamboat series that ended in Nashville with Wrestle War, and he's had so much.
Probably why they wanted Steamboat to be the guy on the other team.
But again, if you listen to Conrad, that whole thing about Steamboat is not necessarily the case.
Yes.
So that's the. We lost Statboy on one front here. Hang on.
It's interesting, but
he might have hit a dead zone. And
he's home now.
He left the phone and got on the tablet or something.
Gotcha. Okay, there we go. Hey, and the thing is, when I think about Ric Flair as a guy that was born in 1992, I did go back and I understand that honestly, he is more synonymous with Jim Crockett Promotions than anything else with his career.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, it would be like Hogan in the WWF. You know, he wants to have a final match in Vince's company. It's like, yeah, he's got the AWA and the WCW Association, but he was Vince's guy.
And
it would be like AJ Styles wanting to have his final match in the Impact Zone or at the Asylum. He was Mr.
She's making me do this.
He was indeed.
And I 100% get James's view as far as the personal view of Richard Morgan Fleer and all that entails. And I've tried very hard to separate that because there's so much that has been said that, again, you know, I've always tried very hard to subscribe to the idea that what we hear on Dark Side of the Ring, what we hear on shoot interviews with one person. We talked about this with the kids last night at dinner as far as Disney and coasters and whatnot.
The biased opinion.
You can never have an unbiased opinion when your data is collected solely from human beings. If you were to send a robot through a theme park and do all the coasters in different parks and get a judging, then you're good to go because you've got computerized data collection. But when you have a human perspective, there's always, whether they try to or not, going to have a little bit of bias on it. So I'm not saying James is wrong because, trust me, I've dealt with people in my life that are like Richard Morgan Fleer has been alleged to be on airplanes, you know, trips, things like that, and in his daily life. I get it. We've all had that person in our life, I think, or if we haven't, we're very lucky, that has been living the lifestyle that the 80s, you know, chose to romanticize and never stopped.
Yes.
It is what it is. But I also see from the fandom side, having been there, it's like, you know what? He didn't want to retire. He went along with it because it was a beautiful story. But if you're getting paid to do ambassador stuff and then you really don't get to do the ambassador stuff like you were told with that contract being laid out and you want to do more, then you want to feel like you're wanted and that you're contributing to the business that contributed so much to you. And he felt at the end of 08, going into 09, and even into 10, he wasn't getting that feeling from the company, which is why he left. And I gave him a pass then. And my initial gut reaction was very much like James's Monday over the weekend. It's like, mother trucker, he don't give a damn about the 74,000 people that were there and just totally shit on our feelings. But then I saw the Crockett logo. Then I saw where it's going to be. Then I saw that his son-in-law, his familia, was directly involved. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Take a step back out of your own shit, Jeff, and realize where we're at here.
Yeah.
So now, I will say this. If it is a one-on-one match, like people have talked about briefly, bad idea.
Yeah.
Horrible idea, even if it is Jay Lethal. Because we've all seen firsthand, some of us in person more than once, how Jay can go. And Jay could carry. Jay is the Ric Flair of back then. He could carry Flair to a Hall of Fame match and put that match in the Hall of Fame by itself because Jay Lethal's awesome. But one-on-one with Flair at 73 with a pacemaker with all this stuff is just bad for business.
Yeah.
I have heard all week about, it's going to be a trios match so Flair can do the hot tag. Ric Flair has been his best when he's been a dirty, rotten scoundrel of a heel.
Yeah.
And again, he should win his last match. No. He needs to go out being the dirty, rotten, limousine-riding, jet-flying, kissing with a gun on his back, looking at the lights, having tried to cheat to win and not making it work.
I'll drink to that.
TR.
Right.
Fact.
Right. Either way, he has to go out as the Nate. And I'm not saying go Nate until 2 a.m. drinking and getting a $3,000 bar tab like he did in England. He needs to go out as the Nature Boy in the middle of the ring. On his back, looking at the lights of the fairgrounds. So this babyface hot tag crap is just that for my money.
Again, capturing the moment, capturing that character. It's not about the victory. It's about the moment.
Quite frankly, for the reasons I mentioned, he's not going to be the babyface.
Yeah.
They will boo him. They will. I'm almost calling it.
Well,
so,
James, to be fair, even
if you're going to do this. You know?
Yeah, even with all the crud that's been slung around the last couple of years, and granted, a lot of that's justified in a lot of people's eyes, and I'm not even going to deny that. I think the idea of Ric Flair walking down the aisle to the original 2001 Space Odyssey, not the Dawn version of WWE, on a Crockett card with all the pomp and circumstance, not that song, of a Ric Flair Crockett entrance, I think will maybe not completely mute the boos, but definitely quell them quite a bit. Again, that's just my perspective. And yes, I got massive for this Thursday night by saying this. I am going to order StarCast on Fight if at all possible. I won't know till this coming Friday because Conrad, being who Conrad is and that businessman, you can't order the video stuff until a week after the on sale because he wants to make sure he milks every dollar out of that in-person stuff. They already sold that front row for the record. And they're charging $1,500 for that. So if that's sold out, that tells Conrad, regardless of what any of the six of us say, money right there. So anyway, Dory and Mike look like they have a toast prepared for something. So take it away, kids.
Well, it's not that we have a toast prepared. We missed the fireball shot because we were still at work. So we're having a fireball shot now.
Oh, Lord.
And Mike's hating me
First
right
one.
now. Cheers.
Enjoy it. There you go, guys. There you go. I love it. I dig it. Have fun. Yes.
What is
All
next
right.
on the agenda?
It's gone.
Yes. All right. So next on the docket is unfortunately something that you yourself, JJ, are not currently versed in compared to our two regular contributors, but we'll go ahead and bring it up because it was a major news item as far as in the peripheral independent media and definitely in Japan.
Oh.
Kota Ibushi. So, Noah, I know you in particular had quite an opinion on this because you were able to see the transcript translated and what Kota had to say about what's going on. So I will let you take the lead on this and we'll kind of follow in your stead, my friend.
It's an awkward situation considering how synonymous the Golden Star has been, particularly with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and right now it feels like he's done with it altogether, but it also looks like he's being the Jesse Ventura right now of Japan, yielding a conspiracy that shades of a Yakuza video game, shout out to my Sega players that know that reference, there literally might be an underground type of, system here when it comes to the booking, the well-being, the overall foundation of this company that goes beyond the higher-ups, even that you see today. So right now, as far as the Kota Ibushi and the FTW thing, it's still very murky. This is one man's opinion right now that has been on the inside. So whether or not in this era of the internet you take that for fact, even the ones that are unfamiliar, like, oh, this seems interesting, because anyone that knows an FTW knows at least one wrestler probably nowadays anymore for the Forbidden Door that has worked with the company or is working with it now. This is a weird situation, and it sounds like it's only going to get even more, I would say, controversial from here as we prepare for the G1 Climax. There really isn't much right now besides what he's already shared, and he's only shared basically just that tweet. He says he has more to share. He hasn't said on what platform he's going to share it yet, but it sounds like he's definitely taken his career in a different venture, but he might be also trying to give us a bit of a very dark exposure. This concerns me not only about Kota Ibushi, but New Japan Pro Wrestling, to say the least.
Right, absolutely.
I also want to add some like a Cliff Notes version of what Noah kind of said. What we know now from Kota's side, we still have yet to hear from New Japan themselves, and who knows if they'll even come out with this yet. What we do know right now from Kota's side is he's claiming that New Japan's in bed with the Yakuza.
Yep.
The actual Yakuza, not the game.
Right, now I got you.
He's claiming that Gato sexually assaulted him. And he's also claiming, because apparently he's just given zero fucks at this point, that Tanahashi, Naito, and I think a few other stars that are like top names in New Japan cheated on their wives, spouses, and or girlfriends.
Wow.
Which is none of our business, but still.
I that's like the least offensive thing on it. Like, it's a scumbag thing, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not going to affect the bottom line like the other stuff is when it comes to like Gato, who's the booker of Japan, is now getting accused of this. The thing that concerns me is we're right around the corner for Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
If more stuff comes out, does this affect that? Because keep in mind, this event's sold out. So you can't just go back on it, but what happens if this comes out? We've seen Tony, go with public pressure, and he's taken people off before. So like, there's no telling what could happen in the next couple of months with this, and like we're literally a month away from this crossover event, and not to mention that's just one part of the pie here when it comes to New Japan and their ties with Forbidden Door. MLW's a partner with New Japan.
Impact Wrestling
is partnered with New Japan. Freaking AAA has recently in partnership with New Japan. This can destroy the potential of a Forbidden Door ever happening again. If this were to happen, because then then it's gonna be tight locked again because stuff like this is going down. And if you're a wrestling fan and you've seen what has been going on, and we've had a territorial renaissance pretty much. I just got done talking about this with Kuzon earlier today. Like we have a territorial renaissance worldwide right now. That's the last thing that needs to go away right now.
Oh yeah.
So this is while again it's all speculative and we have no idea what the other side of this is, and I hope we find out sooner rather than later. Actually, in some cases, because of this event coming up, at least later rather than sooner, for AEW's sake and everybody else that paid a ticket to go to this thing. I hope we find something out, because we need more information than just from Coda. Like we need some form of proof. We have seen text, but that's about as far as that goes. So I have no idea what could happen here.
Right.
If
there you go.
Come out. So.
Mikey, do you have a comment on this one, or?
I don't know much about it. I did quickly just look at the story, and the only thing I can say is that if Kota Ibushi is fearful for his life and with, right. I mean, the Yakuza is the Japanese mob. I'm sorry, and you don't mess with them. You do not, they are a dangerous group. So if he's fearing for his life and he doesn't want to do this, by all means, don't. That's all I can really say.
I'm supportive of that, 100%.
I don't. Sadly, I don't follow New Japan. I know I should, but I really don't have much on this, bro. Sorry.
No, fair enough.
No, it's perfectly fair. I mean, we've seen, we've seen controversy before in the industry. We've seen stories of exposure in the industry. It's led to lawsuits. It's led to firings. It's led to closers. It's led to absolute just withdrawals from the company and the fans and all within it. But like James said, in this era of a territorial renaissance where New Japan Pro Wrestling right now has so many interconnected webs with it, this could definitely be a hard hit. If all this comes out to be legit.
They're legitimately right now the leading force of the Forbidden Door. They have every company under their umbrella right now. This is a bad sign if this comes out any more true. Seriously. Like I would keep an eye on it.
Absolutely. So before we move on to the next topic, let me go back real quick here to the Flair story, because there were a couple of comments that I didn't get a chance to address, and mainly because Jerry popped in and commented on somebody else's comment, so I wanted to bring everything up as I could here. James, our buddy James, different James. There's so many Jameses in this group, I swear. He says, if Rick truly walked away at WrestleMania 24, he would be on my Mount Rushmore. I simply can't count on him as a shoo-in anymore. Tarnished legacy, but I hope I have to eat my words after this. My fear is that we will get an ending for Rick like Randy the Ram from The Wrestler, of course. If you talk to most people that were involved in The Wrestler, Randy the Ram actually did perish at the very end of that movie. So I get where he's coming from. And Jerry, JJ's dad, of course, popped in with, I agree with James regarding Flair. So there is that. So thank you, Jerry and James. We appreciate the feedback.
Hey, Eric, good to see you. Shout out to our ATW.
Okay. I honestly didn't know who that was, and I apologize for my ignorance on that. So I'll go ahead.
No problem.
Since you guys will acknowledge them, I'll go ahead and bring it up there. WWE actively setting themselves on fire 24/7. Ain't that right? Well, again, we'll talk about those.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, Eric.
That will be our main event this evening.
Yes, without.
And if you want to be a part, Eric, if you want to be a part of that discussion live, super chat, brother, because I love to hear your side.
Please. Yeah,
absolutely.
So bro. this one's kind of like died out in the bonkersness of the news in the last week or so.
Oh my
but
God,
I did want to bring it up because there are a lot of people that we are familiar with as current fans that are involved with this show. So I did want to bring it up.
Okay.
Wrestling Entertainment Superstars has announced their debut card. It's going to be going on the same day as NXT in Your House, June 4th. Of course, they're in the UK, so they'll be far ahead of In Your House's end time. So, which may mean I get to watch both shows if they do it on pay-per-view. Oh, it'll be on Fight. So there you go. I'll get to watch both. So the Fight card lays out like this. Let me go ahead and go from bottom to top, if you will. You have Dirty Dango, of course, we know him as Fandango, versus the man formerly known as No Way Jose. I can't pronounce the first. Levis Valenzuela Jr. I'll go ahead and say it like that. That's the only reason I can say it. But No Way Jose versus Fandango, pretty much. Mike Bennett, friend of the channel, longtime admirer of Mike Bennett. Love him and his wife, of course, Maria, against Biff Busick. The man we used to know as Mojo Rawley, Dean. Oh, I can never pronounce his last name. Save my life. Mutati. Sorry, Mojo. Against Lince Dorado. Ooh. The most recent former Impact Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood, taking on former Knockouts longest reigning champion former champion period, Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green as a team. So
I love this.
The Influence versus Deonna and Chelsea. There's my buy right there for that show.
Same.
Triple threat, killer, right, Kyrian? Killer Cross versus Samurai del Sol, of course, Kalisto versus Jonah, who we just saw on Impact recently. World Tag Team Championship match. The man formerly known as, I believe that's the Forgotten Sons, or Steve, Blake from Blake and Murphy and the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah,
teaming up with our buddy Steve Macklin, who we love on this channel from Impact Wrestling, against the men formerly known as the Authors of Pain. Now they are the Legion of Pain. I love the tribute to the Legion of Doom because Paul already mentioned them, of course. And the World Championship women's side is going to be Lena Thanay. How do you say Nia Jax's last name? It doesn't matter. Nia Jax versus CJ Perry, of course, Lana in WWE.
Oh, no!
And then the World Championship match.
CJ Perry?
CJ Perry is facing Lana, yes.
Oh,
not again.
Not again.
The main event is... Jeez, this is going to be a good topic. I'm so glad I brought this up midway through the show. The World Championship match is the man we know as Braun Strowman, Adam the Titan Scherer, versus the man who legitimately ended Brock Lesnar, Alistair Overeem. So that's your fight card.
Okay.
So
that's
I'll start with Mikey on this one just because I can. I totally laid this bomb on everybody right now as it happened. So, Mikey, you're hearing that card. You know you got another pay-per-view that night on the Peacock app
that we'll be covering right here live
on the Jeff Meacham Network with Noah and JJ on commentary. Do you order this show yourself, sir? Are you interested now that you've heard this card?
I'm curious about this card. This is a card that I would compare to when we as brothers went to PWG and we saw all of the previous TNA or current talent or former WWE stars or whatever. So I compare that to that kind of a show. Alistair Overeem, really? I mean, come on. No offense, but couldn't they get anybody better from the UFC than him? I mean,
the thing with Alistair, he's definitely the most out of left field because if it was like Tyson Fury right now, or if it was Cain Velasquez, if he wasn't in jail, that'd be one thing. Alistair is completely out of left field for me, I think. Jay, you were going to say something.
I was going to compare to the PWG All-Star Weekends. I think is what he was trying to go
the original ones, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. I mean, hearing all the former names, formerly known as Kalisto, formerly known as Mojo Rawley, formerly known as the Forgotten Sons, all that formerly stuff. Nia versus Lana. You know, I know it's CJ versus Lena, but I would almost not want to pay money for this fight. I would rather watch NXT, I think, on that day and get to see talent that I've never seen before and learn about them than see a show that's probably going to give these former superstars a chance to give WWE the old fist up. You know, it's like, hey, you probably cheated us before, and now look at us now. This is what we're doing now. So the card looks interesting, but I'm not spending my money on it.
So, James, you had quite the reaction during me reading the fight card, so I'll go to you next.
Okay, yeah, I had two different reactions actually.
Quite a few. So here's my thing. Here's the thing. Buy the shirt. Merch at everything.com. Buy the shirts. All the shirts in bulk. I don't mind the people on the card necessarily. Okay, thank you, Doctor, for chiming in. Appreciate that. My thing is, I don't think it's going to be Legends of Wrestling botch bad, because other than the women's match, which has trainer written all over it, let's not kid ourselves, there's decent workers throughout the rest of the night.
Yeah. No. When I heard the card in full, like, this sounds like I'm interested in it. I'll be honest. I might actually watch this. I'm not even.
Right on. There you go.
I might actually go in
your house. So
he's not gonna do that because he's gonna go pet his cat while we're doing work. You know.
But for me, it's I don't know. I heard all the names, and then like I thought I wasn't gonna do it because of the Nia Jax thing, and then again we're getting Lana and Nia. Why? Just
it's like
why?
One table, two tables, three tables.
I did not want to see this match the first time, let alone 7 times, and now we're at 8 times. I don't want to see that again.
Oh,
but then I heard the name Adam Shear. I'm like, okay, well, say what you will about Control Your Narrative. It's shit. We know it is. But I like Adam Shear as a wrestler, right? Always have, always will. I think he's an underrated big guy. And then I heard Alistair Overeem, and my curiosity went way up. And I'm like, ooh, okay. This is either going to be a train wreck or this is going to be catch me by surprise. Either way, I'm here for it. Like, it's like if Alistair Overeem can prove himself to be a pretty damn good pro wrestler, you sold me there.
Yeah,
like, this is a hell of a get for an upstart. Like, I'd imagine Alistair isn't cheap. Like, this dude's a former heavyweight champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
he's one of the few guys to give Brock Lesnar a reason to sweat in the octagon, let alone in the wrestling ring. So that's a big deal for them.
So like this is a major marquee. Like I'm all for it, man. Like let's go. I'm all. Right. I'm gonna watch this. I'm legitimately like because I had no idea what this was. Like when I first heard that this was a thing and I saw the graphic, I thought this was Freddie Prinze Jr.'s group. And I was like, oh, here we go. It's all started.
Too soon, James. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We'll wait, TikTok.
So I'll throw to JJ next since he's sitting here next to me, and I want to ask you because, like, again, you know, I've told you this talking to you as we can't have you on camera for whatever reason because that sucks.
Panorama setting.
You know, hell with it. You know, we know what we're talking about. It's all good.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to do that either. No, we'll get it right. We'll get it right.
One of these days.
There we go. All right. So
are we getting hit with a downpour?
Aaron and the NoDQ crew were actually in the arena when Alistair Dunn handed Brock his butt. So just him being on the card against a guy who we all thought would be give Brock a decent sweat in the WWE. Him and Overeem and Cher, I'm interested in that match. Like I said, I'm interested in the Lana Nia match just because of the potential of either train wreck or
the problem is we're interested in that match for all the wrong reasons.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely we are.
But
we're not expecting this to be freaking Natalia Cora Jade from this past week on NXT.
Well, no.
We're looking
No.
at this to be, Botchamania number 532 the entire video.
Yep. Hey, I've been on Botchamania. I'm okay with those guys. For all the wrong
I'm
reasons.
you.
Where do you stand on this card?
It definitely sounds interesting now that I've heard it. I wouldn't buy it.
Right.
I've got too much of a vested interest in NXT In Your House, which will be covered right here on the Jeff Meacham Network. Myself and Noah Foster. But,
with the cameo by James and his cat as they're being petted together. That's what's telling you.
That's right. We're going to get a still shot of James and his cat that we can just throw up every now and again and be like, see, this is why James isn't here today.
Because nothing's a lot funny better than James petting his pussy. Anyway,
wow, you just went there.
I did with my niece down the hall screaming. That's all good.
But it does sound like an interesting card. If I could get a hold of a video or a stream link later on down the road, I would probably check it out.
Right.
But it's not something that I'm going to drop my $9.95, $19.95, $14.95, whatever it is.
I'm gonna find out right now.
To try and watch it live as it happens at 9:00 in the morning, since it's going to be over in the UK.
That's it.
Like, I'm still either trying to look at the back of my eyelids or be working at that point in time.
Real. Oh, and just so we're clear, they don't have a fight price yet as far as if you're going to order on pay-per-view. VIP floor is, I forget what the currency exchange is, and it's making me scream in my head so much. You can hear it, actually hear it right now as it's happening in my head, trying to do the currency exchange. 205.5, I guess, either pounds or euros, forgive me. That's pounds. Yeah, 205.5 pounds for VIP floor. VIP meet and greet, which includes a floor seat, is 320.5, and then it goes from 30 pounds all the way through 145 pounds for actual just basic floor, basic seats. So it's not an inexpensive show.
No.
Even
with that level of talent, it can't be.
Well, no, because you
got to pay them.
I'm going to say, you're paying mostly fly-ins at the end of the day. They're number one. Number two, these are all people that have been on TV, either WWE, AEW, or Impact in the last year.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be inexpensive.
That's going to be recognition,
right? Which is very much unlike that Legends of Wrestling fiasco that I talked about. That had the guys from the '80s wrestling in the year 1999. It's like, no, this is not good. So Noah,
World Wrestling All Stars.
Hey, you know what? Just because Double J is on that card, and we're picking on Double J half the time when we're not saying without question 100%.
Grandmaster Sexay in the main event. I'm just going to leave it there. Yes, Stat Boy.
You're asking about the conversion rate. If you said 320 pounds, that's pretty close to $400.
Say it again, Mikey. I'm sorry, we lost you there.
If you're asking how much 320 pounds is in dollars, it's very close to 400.
That seems about right based on what they're offering for that. That makes sense. So
hashtag Statboy approved. Hashtag buy the t-shirt.
That's right.
Hold on.
Again, what's.com.
I've seen bigger.
Oh, go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
I was gonna just say I've seen bigger star shows that are way less, but for whatever reason, you combine this show, which is currently in the UK, and then you get the Clash of the Castle. Why are the events in the UK so fucking expensive? What the hell? Like,
again, you factor a lot of things. From what and again, this is just what I've learned over the years of doing the shows and whatnot. They're more expensive to run over there. Like, even the smaller venues are much more expensive to rent out and license and whatever. But also, the majority of these people are American-based, so they're flying everybody across the pond here. So,
fair. Yeah.
So you got to factor in airfare. You've got to factor in hotel rooms. Plus, you got to factor in their payday, and then you've got to try to recoup that on the house.
And then even now in 2022, 2 years into this stuff, you have to factor in everybody's going to get at least one, if not two, COVID tests. So it's a train wreck before they even hit the ring. I'm not talking just about CJ and what the hell's Naya's name for real?
Just
Lena. Well, no, I'm trying to be respectful to Anna and her niece. I'm trying to be a good boy here. Anyway,
I'm gonna call her
Noah Foster. There you go. Noah Foster. What say you as the simple man with the relatively respectful opinions more often than not?
It's an intriguing endeavor, especially in the UK area, where really the UK has never been the same since NXT UK became a thing. And I've seen Rev Pro, which is still very much a thing that works in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They have, of course, Over the Top with Scrapper Mania. They, of course, have the all-women's promotion Pro Wrestling Eve. So I don't know how far this venture goes, whether it's going to be like a monthly or quarterly thing. And commentary apparently is going to be led by Drama King, Matthew Raywald, and also the coach, Jonathan Coachman. But again, this show, there's a lot of familiarity here when it comes to us fans here in the West, whether you've seen somebody in Impact, in New Japan, in WWE particularly, NXT for that matter. So I'm intrigued by it. And then, like you said, as soon as you drop that name in the main event going against the former Braun Strowman, when I think about Braun Strowman, I'm cheer, the Titan, going up against the likes of Tyson Fury, this one right here is the match that I have the most curiosity about. As far as the other ones, hey, maybe the Influence versus Virtuos and the Hot Mess could lead to, I don't know, future Knockouts Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania. I'm just saying. I mean, I've seen, being an Ultimate Insider, how much outside independent wrestling matches they do play a factor into what Impact Wrestling does, but they also show us a little bit too. So as far as this card goes, I'm intrigued by it, and I'll definitely find this show some point when I can, but with what's come up in June I am going to pay for, including but not limited to Always Ready, Slammiversary, and The Forbidden Door, while, of course, watching the premium live event on Peacock, including the Red Crate of Hate. That's going to be after, that's the day after, literally, NXT 2.0 in your house. What the hell? Oh, Lord, I don't have a free weekend in June. Well, I know I'm busy. But that being said, a lot of names from 205 Live, NXT. This show intrigues me, but it's definitely the main event right now that I have the biggest point of curiosity.
You're talking about having no weekends off. I think this man has like 2 clear days the entire month of June.
I have legitimate 4 days off in June, none of them consecutive, only 2 Saturdays.
There you go.
That's before he looks at other people's schedules.
Yeah.
For the record, Noah, it's Alistair Overeem that's fighting Adam Shearer, not Tyson Fury.
I didn't get the name. The thing is, I don't know like a lot of those like MMA names, but I'm familiar with, of course, who Brock Lesnar faced to a degree in MMA and who gave him up for his money. So again,
either way, either Overeem or Fury would give Strowman, although Overeem would give more of a run for money because Fury's
right.
Kind of
I guess my biggest thing about this, even though I think World of Sports, WLS, was more local based, I just wonder how far this thing's going to go. But I hope it does well for town and all who see it.
Yeah, actually, I do too.
Definitely. James, the next topic I'm going to introduce is one you sent the audio clip of. I obviously don't want to incur the wrath of the Podfather and get a horse head delivered to him. A horse head delivered to my bed. Yeah. So as we go,
because WWE and Speaking Out crashed the UK scene. Oh, you had to bring that up, Eric.
That's being brought up as part of the reason why it's so expensive, which, you know what, honestly, I don't know if that's the case anymore because WWE, the UK's still done very well wrestling business-wise, even after all that went down. Yeah, Marty's involvement did not help at all, but Progress has shown that they can still do big business over there and not have to worry about guys getting spoke out on. Jonathan Gresham being the most recent Progress World Champion. There you go. So, anyway, James, I don't want to play the clip, obviously, and get the wrath of the Podfather, get a horseman head delivered to my front door. But do you have the transcript of it by chance that you wanted to play? Or
I unfortunately don't, but I can try and
We can go ahead and just kind of what do you call it? We can paraphrase. But basically, how this laid out was this came up on 83 Weeks recently, and it definitely caught everybody's ears and eyes because it's coming from who it's coming from, and it seems you either love E or you don't, and that's just the way it's always been with Bischoff. He's part of his recent podcast said, quote, "I could restart WCW tomorrow and get more viewers than AEW." Okay, so I'm going to take the lead on this one, and only because the only person in the room that's been a fan longer than me, and I think Mikey even, he and I are close as far as length of fan.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Here, to quote me, here's the thing. you have to remember something about, and I don't know why that happened. I didn't move this first. I need to remember how to do this. Again, live TV is still not my thing. I'm working on it. I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing your best, Jeff. And I mean, again, all I was going to do is just give expressions. So break it down.
Yes. So my thing with saying that is, and yes, he did actually say that it wasn't true later on, but the fact of the matter is, Report Card Radio, it was said and it was, delivered to the masses. And even if it's not true, the fact that he felt compelled to say it in the first place shows that it's on his mind, right? And what Bischoff, at the moment he said it, and I'm sure a lot of fans honestly, don't seem to realize, is that Bischoff, as much as he did to resurrect, Jim Crockett Promotions' ashes into a viable promotion that was WCW after the Crockett, let down, after the multitude, not of madness, of bookers, promoters, money people that just didn't know what the heck they were doing. It came at a time where the wrestling fans in 1993, 94, 95 were so jaded by the cartoony product they were getting Saturday mornings and even Monday nights at that time, that they were looking for something, anything to latch onto. And unfortunately for Paul Heyman, ECW wasn't getting coverage outside of the Northeast, so he couldn't get that grab from everybody across the country. Bischoff had the luck of having signed Hulk Hogan, having signed Randy Savage, getting that nostalgia factor from those two guys, and having Ted Turner's checkbook at his disposal. Now, again, the whole ATM Eric thing has been blown up way out of proportion, particularly by WWE media the last 25 years. I'm not even going to absolve them of that. Bischoff's biggest success came in a time where wrestling needed to have a new boom, and his, booking the cruiserweights the way he did, booking the NWO the way it was booked, and everything kind of came together. The biggest quote on the NWO, like, the stars aligned, and it did. You had the NWO, you had the cruiserweights, you had Bischoff's WCW was that proverbial three-ring circus. You could go to his shows and find something in every single ring of that show and walk away. You were satisfied at one way or the other by the time that 2 hours of Nitro was over. The WWF only could respond with, we have to do better or we're going to die. And Vince did, like Vince has always done. There's a thing in the chat room saying that no, it wasn't misquoted, because I actually heard him say it myself on the show. But thank you for bringing that up anyway. There's a thing in there that says he crashed Impact and WCW will only do well from nostalgia factor. You know what? So did ECW. Because ECW One Night Stand, the first one, was amazing. Even the second one was decent. When they relaunched ECW under the WWE banner as that third brand, like has been said many times in the last 15, 16 years, they call that show anything but ECW, it has a chance. But because they labeled the Extreme banner on it, it was doomed from the start because it wasn't our ECW.
Correct.
Our WCW would not be able to be done at this point. It was honestly close enough to the end of ECW in 2005 that enough of the people were able to come back. You bring WCW back now, as it was, with the people you had, forget it. It's not going to happen. They're either old, dead, or should be.
Right.
Flair, great. Again, you talk about Flair. Great example. Do you want Nate in the main event of Nitro against Sting in 2022? No. Do you want Hogan hobbling his broken back out there with his 25 leg drops and one hit, brother? Of course not.
You barely want Sting in the main event tag teaming with Darby Allin in 2022.
Exactly. The fact that we're BITCH, I'm trying to keep it down for the 5-year-old, about Flair being in a trios match in 2022, you don't want him main event Nitro again. So now, if Bischoff were to relaunch Nitro or relaunch WCW and have a current crop of talent that's not signed by major company that we've all seen on the indies or go through the proverbial forbidden door, then maybe he has a discussion topic. And I won't disagree with that. But there's another good point there about nostalgia. The nostalgia factor of the WCW name would not be enough because it wouldn't be the talent that WCW had. They had the best variety The cruiserweights on that show were amazing. You had Mysterio, Jericho, Malenko, Psychosis, all the luchadors, Eddie Guerrero's, both Guerreros, yeah. You had the NWO, you had Raven's Flock, you had Piper, you had Flair, you had the Horsemen, you had
partnership with New Japan.
Yeah. People coming to Japan. You had Diamond Dallas Page. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. You had the Nitro Girls as the novelty act in between matches. There was so much that was good about that show that a lot of it, just on a PC level, doesn't work in 2022. Because the main draw of Nitro was you did not know what was going to happen because the internet was still so on its infancy.
Yeah.
You try to pull off the surprise factor of Lex Luger showing up in Minnesota on today's, it's not going to happen. Everybody in the world is going to know he's at the airport, let alone in the building. So
Cody Rhodes WrestleMania,
yeah, seriously,
the worst kept secret this year.
Yeah, seriously, that was the worst kept secret than Pat Patterson's identification throughout his career. Okay, I'm sorry, it was and it always will be. It was so bad, and again, people have their opinion on whether it should have been a surprise or not. The bottom line is, and I'll pass it over to JJ since he's on camera and I'm trying to get this thing organized anyway. I don't think we need to rely so much on nostalgia necessarily, and I don't know where because you became a fan when Bischoff's WCW was starting to filter downward, and the WWF was starting to really rise up. They'd already won their first battle in 83 weeks, and they were your first major pay-per-view that you were identified with was SummerSlam. So you were already WWE was already kicking that butt. So nostalgia, I don't think would work unless you have the right ingredients and the chili pot.
Yeah, I was going to say, to get on to your point about what you were talking about, Bischoff was lucky because he had the right ingredients at the right time. You know, there's enough unemployed talent from WWE's 35 cuts last year. Yeah, rounds, not people. 35 rounds of cuts.
Yeah.
Botch.
You have the talent roster for a new WCW, a new Nitro, even a new Thunder.
Yep.
But the problem is that you just end up dividing the audience even more.
Which was originally their fear when they first did Nitro, was that they were going to divide the audience. It didn't work out that way, luckily for everybody, but I mean, it'll happen now.
You look at the way the IWC is these days with the AEW versus WWE crowd.
Yep.
And as bad as it got between the WCW versus WWFs, it was not this bad back then.
No,
it wasn't.
IWC right now legitimately is a San Francisco Giant fan getting his ass beat at Dodger Stadium for being a San Francisco Giant fan.
It's bad, yeah.
It's that bad. Now, I'm not saying I've heard of any WWE fans getting beat down at AEW shows or vice versa. But that's how rabid the fandom is.
Yeah, and I agree with that yet stuff.
Yeah, but that's how rabid the fandom is, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You add WCW into the mix now, or Nitro, or whatever he wants to rebrand it as, it's just going to get worse with today's internet community. It's just
WCW 2.0.
Seriously, the worst really bad fight thing we had during Monday Night Wars was DX on a tank. Yeah. And that was completely kayfabe.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that Nash opened that door. It's like, again, that was one of those, if it could have happened, it would have been awesome.
I can kind of see your chats here in the chat room since we're sitting next to each other. Be advised, there's 4 other people on this panel except for Jeff Meacham. You can address some of us too at the same time.
Ken,
I'd like to throw to next.
Yeah, Ken, acknowledge everybody. All right, so we'll go ahead and go with we'll go with James next. What the hell, James? Where do you? Hey, you're the one that was being very fair and actually having us acknowledge what Bischoff said on the audio clip you sent us in the chat room. So please enlighten the what's that?
Which is funny.
Right. So what is your take on what Bischoff said and then what he ended up saying, after the fact in the clip later?
So I actually listened to the whole debate as well. There was like a debate before he talked about restarting WCW tomorrow, like before this as well. And it was over the ratings, which I'll get to in a minute. That's a whole can of worms that I'm going to bring up here. But first off, Bischoff and Conrad went back and forth about how AEW is successful, even though they're not doing great in the Nielsen rating. And Bischoff said, well, it doesn't matter because they still have 2.4 million people. WrestleMania was the most watched thing, and all these other factors make for more money. And granted, probably on a global scale, they probably are. And they're probably even domestically here, all things considered, but that doesn't mean AEW isn't succeeding, which was Conrad's point. Now, to Bischoff's credit, after these two podcasts and after this quote, this is what he said, and I'm actually going to play the audio and repeat it the best way I can. You know, now that we, and I quote, by the way, I think the thing that, you know, oftentimes we talk about TNA, and I say this often, when we go back and watch TNA, I try to catch myself because I say so much negative stuff about TNA, but it's all because it's a criticism, and the thing that irks me is the loss of opportunity, right? And it's more frustrating to me than anything else. Some of the things and the perspectives that I share are more out of concern for AEW than anger or negativity. I want them to grow so bad, and here's a quote, I want AEW to outperform WWE. I want them to actually be legitimately competitive. I want them to grow more so than maybe not as bad as Tony or an AEW fan, or even the people that work there. But I want them so bad for AEW to be a legitimate, viable competitor, or even just getting 2 million or 3 million a week. And it's not because I don't. When I have criticisms, I'm sharing my personal experiences, but it doesn't mean I don't want AEW to succeed. It's because I do.
No, I got you.
That's essentially what he said. So again, I paraphrase a lot of that, but that's the gist of what Bischoff said.
Right.
So I wanted to put that in perspective so that way people didn't think that, oh, well, let's just feed the narrative that Eric Bischoff hates AEW, he hates AEW, he hates AEW. Let's cut the bullshit right now. He doesn't.
Right, of course.
He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
With that said, here's where Bischoff is just completely off left field, because this is the truth, and I think we even covered it last 2 weeks ago on Open Mic Night. The Nielsen rating in 2022 is and will be a crock of shit.
Right?
It always will be. Listen,
yes.
JJ, here's an example. You watch AEW and other wrestling products on Hulu, correct?
JJ actually is doing what you did and taking a tinkle. He'll be back momentarily.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. He's back now. James, say it again.
JJ, just to put in perspective, and what I mean by the Nielsen ratings a crock of shit. You watch AEW on Hulu, right? Or you watch wrestling products on Hulu, correct?
Yes.
I watch WWE programming on Hulu. I watch AEW and New Japan usually on DVR.
Fair enough. So you watch it on DVR, which again, we already broke it on two weeks ago. Guess what? They get 1 million every week, even with the Nielsen rating, when you factor in DVR numbers. Noah.
For perspective, that last little tidbit of information just makes Noah all kinds of giddy.
Right.
Because I'm actually watching AEW and New Japan on a regular.
Yes.
Now, Noah. So speaking of Noah, how do you watch AEW? I know you use a Roku device. What do you use to watch AEW on that?
Are you just talking about Dynamite or Rampage or everything?
Both.
Dynamite and Rampage is Sling live, and as far as everything else, I watch wherever they are. I literally watch all elite content every week on time.
I watch AEW Dynamite and Rampage on Sling. I don't know about Staff Boy if he's still in the chat. Staff Boy, how do you watch AEW? I'm curious.
If I do ever catch AEW, I try to watch it live. Otherwise, as far as the other stuff, it's just reading reports.
Gotcha. But all right, fair enough. So I venture to guess that everybody that I just mentioned in this room, more than likely, myself included, does not have a Nielsen box, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there you go already. I've been saying for months now to stop reporting on these fucking ratings, because what you are actively doing is making the company look worse than they're actually probably doing.
Amen.
I actually listened to a podcast recently on Danhausen's podcast, and Danhausen in character was interviewing Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers, right? And they did a whole joke, and Quinn did a really crazy statistic that I didn't even expect. And he said, Danhausen, you put the curse on all the other networks so that we could do a better number? 7.2 million people. Best number we ever had. And while it was a joke, but also serious because of the number, I heard 7.2 million people. I'm like, what the hell? Is that a Nielsen number? I'm curious, right? Looked it up. Wasn't a Nielsen number. That's worldwide viewership. Guess how many were domestic? Estimated. Close to 4 million people. So naturally, I went on and tried to look up statistics on what AEW does streaming-wise. They do around the same number as Impractical Jokers, if not more in some cases.
Well, see, there you go.
And that's worldwide. Domestically, They do about 3 million every week. And that's not even factoring in other means to watch it, because I couldn't find any on the TNT app and the CBS app.
Right, of course.
People do watch AEW on that. So again, there is no way only 800,000 people watch, and every other business metric that AEW has gone up. There's no way. Dude, and here's another statistic for you. Before the advent of the WWE Network, AEW has competed with WWE pay-per-view buys from 2013.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, it doesn't make sense. This logic makes zero sense. They're obviously doing good numbers.
Yeah.
Clearly they're doing good numbers. Otherwise, TNT wouldn't be happy with them.
No.
Period. It's unbelievable to me that the narrative is that AEW is doing bad in the ratings. We don't even have all the full statistics yet. And by the way, these are just estimations on as far as domestic goes. But worldwide, AEW has got a great presence. Now, it's not to the level of WWE. WWE crushes them globally. But do people now realize, if you follow this stuff, AEW got the Sky Sports fucking slot in Italy. They got the Italy's time slot that WWE left because they left Sky Sports and went to BT Sport.
Right.
AEW swooped in, got that deal for half the price, and they're getting more profit for AEW content than they ever did the last 5 years of WWE content.
Very true.
Clearly they're doing well. You just don't have all the statistics because you don't have them. You legitimately don't have them because they're not a publicly traded company. That doesn't mean they're not succeeding, because the information that we do know is AEW, with 800,000 Nielsen live viewers, 900,000 Nielsen live viewers, has over 200,000 people buy into pay-per-views, has over 1 million in merch, and potentially could do up to 1 million in the video game. That's what we know. So that makes no sense to me, because you'd be lucky to get 15,000 of those people if it was just by Nielsen. So clearly there's more people that are watching AEW than what's led to be believed by them. So I think Bischoff, and by the way, if Bischoff were to start WCW tomorrow with a whole different roster, the bottom line is he would be doing the exact same thing that he did or tried to do during that time, and it would work. But guess what? Guess who is doing that exact thing that WCW did even back then?
Right.
AEW has the entire buffet of wrestling practically on it. It's the
damn right
product, in a sense. They don't have the same star power, maybe. That's fair enough. But hold on, right? Here's my theory. If you have WCW restart tomorrow, they'd be doing the exact same thing AEW is trying to do right now. The exact same method.
Right, exactly. Yep, and that's what people. And again, people took the narrative that Bischoff put out there, and like you said, he did not retcon it, but he did retract it and actually kind of clarify what he was saying. People just pounced on it, took it what he said to, as the word, if you will, and just went to town with it, which was not the way to go ever on things like that. So, yeah, he'd be doing the same thing because, and again, I heard this time and time again this week. And every time you hear both Bischoff and, let's not kid ourselves, Vince Russo attacked about the way they booked WCW, they were never allowed to complete a full season as head coach without starting at a deficit one way or the other, be it monetarily, be it talent-wise, be it anything. Tony had the luxury, along with the Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega, of starting with guys that were talented as hell, jaded enough from WWE experience where they wanted to shove it up the old man's rear, and enough passion in them and vigor for the business in general.
You have to lump Chris Jericho in with that crowd as well.
Exactly. Chris Jericho was the sole non-jaded dude. He just wanted to go out there and try something different, which is what Jericho's always been about.
And even he was a little bit jaded because of how he was treated during his WrestleMania 33 run.
Well, but again, that has, talking with Chris myself, that's been blown a lot more out of proportion than what actually.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just saying that he was slightly jaded, not as much as the Bucks and Cody and
definitely not as much as Cody and Kenny Omega. Definitely not. And by the way, Cece, we're glad you made it home safe, and it's good to see you in the chat room.
Yes, sweetheart.
So there you go. Mikey, I will go ahead and throw to you next, and I'm going to try to get this thing loaded up if I can here. Figure it out. Mikey, let me get you in where you need to be. Maybe, possibly. There it is. Go ahead, Stab Boy. Do you, boo. That was really
okay.
Sorry about that.
My initial, I read the quote, and right off the bat, Bischoff is talking out of his ass. Okay? Hearing everybody talk has changed my perception. Can he do this? Of course. He is a promoter. He wrote a book, Controversy Creates Cash. He is saying this to get the people thinking. And if he can't pull this off, he is going to prove whatever naysayers dead wrong, and he's going to laugh all the way to the bank about this, okay? That is what he does. He gets your mind going. Now, if he can't do it, well, then, that's just a sad right where it is. Can I believe it? Do I believe he can do this? I'm gonna say yes, he can do this. The initial thought was, yeah, right, haha, he's pulling my leg, he's blowing smoke up my ass, whatever. He can do this because that is the way his mind works. If he feels he can do it, he can do it. A dream is only as big as a small idea. What could else be his reasoning, though? Does he want to challenge AEW? Does he want to say that WCW could be bigger than AEW? Absolutely. Maybe so. You never. That's what I'm thinking on this one right now, folks. I truly think that yes, he can do this. Do you get the eye roll at the beginning of the quote? Yes. Come on. You're gonna. But when you look at it and when you listen to people, you're gonna twist that turn. And you're like, okay, maybe this is what's gonna happen.
Maybe. To add to your point, Snap Boy, I'm gonna just say this.
Go ahead.
What Eric said in the two quotes, two different quotes we read on the air. The one about he wants AEW to outgrow WWE, and that WCW could probably get more viewers than AEW. Here's the thing. Both are probably true. You know what else is true? They won't do as well in the Nielsen ratings, and WCW would probably do the same number on Nielsen that AEW is doing. But that doesn't mean that they're not doing well viewership-wise. They're doing way better than people give them credit for. So I think we don't have to worry AEW is doing better than a lot of people give it credit for. It is doing $2 million and $3 million that Eric Bischoff wanted. And if Eric Bischoff were to start WCW tomorrow for pure curiosity, it probably would do about 3 to 3.5 to 4 million. Both are true. So, what? That's it. Like, what's the point here? Like, stop going by Nielsen. That's the moral of the story. Stop it.
Right. Yeah. People going, and again, Bischoff says that, people are basing on something that is just an out-of-date way of doing statistics. It really is just that simple. There's no, it's not a proper measure anymore. So
at all.
It's just ridiculous.
We got JJ and Noah left, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw to.
I said my piece when Jeff was starting.
That's very true. So Noah, we will throw to you, my friend. Let me get this going here, and then we do this. Oh dear. Okay, go ahead, Noah.
What this comes down to is this is an observation based on a promoter that led to a lot of discussion based on algorithms and data that is absolutely irrelevant. You would think that James Hebert at this point would be on MSNBC talking business and numbers at this point. At the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, whatever, because those that rely literally on their fandom or their point or saying that they're right based on numbers by this out-of-date system that is so highly out of order when it comes to when you think about how far it goes to watching, viewing, observing wrestling nowadays, live or on demand, is absolutely ridiculous. I go like Bring Up Better says, if you literally use numbers towards your facts as a fan, get the hell out of here, I'm blocking your ass. So as far as this quote goes, I will say this, because I grew up mostly on the WWF. Nowadays, when it comes to the wrestling industry, there is more variety than ever. There's more talent than ever, whether they're right now free or being created. And I would even give NXT 2.0 some credit for that too. Hello, Cora Jade. That being said, I think he could do it, and I would be interested to see who he would start with. But again, how far does the nostalgia factor goes? Because who could you bring as big as Chris Jericho, per se, to maybe get this company off the ground and be identified by today's generation while also bringing back the older generation? Because that's what AEW did. AEW links the past and the present and is building the future. That is why AEW is thriving and succeeding. That's why it always feels different every week. That's why it is a melting pot of professional wrestling, damn it, that has been lacking in this industry for the last 20 years. So at the end of the day, I just think that this quote is just taken out of context. I feel that, hey, he's a promoter. We know he could definitely try and do it. Would he succeed at it in the long run? That's yet to be determined. But when you still have companies going today, like the NWA and Impact Wrestling, doing their own thing and not even part of the conversation, but still, they're doing okay too because they still exist. That's really all that matters in the end. As far as, AEW succeeding beyond the WWE, and he wants to see it grow and thriving, I think for the fact that they're going to celebrate 3 years now of the AEW brand this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite in Las Vegas with a hell of a card and pay-per-view, I might say. I think they definitely have achieved that and will continue to do that going forward. I just feel like more so at this point, if you're trying to constantly look at AEW to be the next big thing in the wrestling industry to surpass the WWE, I think you're setting your expectations a little high in the short run, and you should just enjoy the ride and see where the journey takes you. So, Bishop, you said your point, but clearly the man doesn't hate AEW. The man just wants to see wrestling succeed.
Just to put in perspective real quick, I agree with everything you said, although I think AEW is doing very good. And I agree, expectations too high. I will never, ever be caught dead on MSNBC, Fox News, whatever political network is there, okay? Never compare. I will never be on that.
Okay, good
ever.
Man.
Ever. No way.
You're a wise man.
He's a wise man, and the people on the networks are also wise men because James is outspoken and gives absolutely zero Fs about any of them. So there you go.
Before we go any further, we must acknowledge the super chat that came in.
Yes, and before we do that, we'll acknowledge an old friend from the past in the chat room as well. It's good to see our own version of AA. Aaron Austin in here. maybe I missed something, but how can Bischoff restart WWE? Doesn't Vince still own it? It's not the fact that he can, because you're right, he can't.
You gave a hypothetical.
Yeah, it was a hypothetical. He could restart, fill in the company name here, or restart the brand here. And the original claim was he could do better than AEW, which again we've completely debunked here in the last few minutes or so. CC has sent in a $5 super chat, and we thank you for that. And because it's yo girl, go ahead, my friend.
Can he do it? Yes. Do we want him to? In my opinion, no.
And
emphatic no.
She further on goes on to say that she's with Noah.
So there you go. I loves it.
The simple man has a fan.
That's it. So before we go
it's
into
not
our
about
main
me, it's
event,
about wrestling, but I appreciate it.
So before we go into our main event, because the main event's going to be just juicier than a freaking bottle of freaking Apple Jacks. Good Lord.
We have a semi-main event here.
Semi-main is kind of one of those. It's not really wrestling, but it involves a number of wrestling peoples.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and throw it up there. This last week, and again, this is before it hit the fan with Sasha and Naomi and everybody, but
which will be coming up here momentarily. So if you need a pee break or to go touch up those drinks, do it now.
Yes. He already get several shots after this as it is, so we're going to be good on that for a while.
That boy's gone.
During the Sasha discussion.
Jesus Christ.
So, for those of you that are turned off by football, this might be the moment where you're like, wait, what's this? I thought we were talking about wrestling. Well,
yes, there you go.
This is a segue.
So the XFL announced this week that they've had an exclusive multi-year broadcasting agreement with the Walt Disney Company, had, of course, the mouse there, and ESPN. Basically, what that amounts to is the startup, for the third time, brand of the XFL, for the third time, has a partnership with the sports network in this country, because yes, the original XFL was with the Viacom networks. You had Spike, you had ESPN at the time. Those
which
networks,
is what WWE was on at those moments. You know, they were on Spike,
right?
They were on UPN.
Yes,
and as Eric in the chat is literally doing the Vince versus now comparison in the chat.
Oh, I like that setup. Anyway, so and again, he makes a good point. Anything The Rock touches turns to gold, brother. That's just
it's The Rock. Of course it does. He's the most famous person in all of Hollywood sports, entertainment, wrestling. You name it at this point. Yeah. He can make anything happen.
A few weeks ago, a few episodes ago, whatever it was, The Rock is Hollywood's King Midas right now.
Yes.
Seriously.
Look at what he came into the second installment of the Journey franchise, better than the original. Came into the second installment of the G.I. Joe franchise, better than the original. Came into the fifth installment of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Reinvigorated,
freaking jump-started that shit to where Vin Diesel had to get off his shit and try to beg Dwayne to come back, because the one with Cena didn't do as good as the ones with Dwayne.
It did not.
Because John Cena will never be above Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You know, you look at, has he had his missteps? Looking at Doom.
Tooth Fairy.
Look at the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, we're not going to be so harsh on the Tooth Fairy, because at the end of the movie, he was alongside the LA Kings, and, you know, we support the Kings.
All right, that's y'all's thing.
We support the Kings.
But let's not get started. Let's not get started.
I'm not, I promise.
Okay. Mike, take another shot. Relax yourself.
There you go. And we're going off the rails.
The Rock is King Midas. And the fact that it's partnering with Disney almost brings up the other hot button topic.
Yes.
Not necessarily the Sasha, because we'll still get to that in a minute. but with Stephanie having stepped away this week.
Yeah.
You know, with Shane having
which was on the docket
suspended, right. With Triple H having taken a backseat, could we be getting closer and closer to a WWE sale to Disney?
I think so.
Disney Plus already has streaming rights to WWE in some of the overseas countries where Peacock doesn't exist. And now you've got the XFL partnering with them, which is owned by The Rock.
Yep.
Guaranteed Hall of Famer. It's just a matter of when.
Right now, we're about 300 days away in theory.
Yeah. Realistically, will probably be Hollywood, but if it's not, probably WrestleMania 40.
which is going to be out there in theory. So yeah.
So could this be leading towards a possible Disney WWE sale also?
I think so.
Could this be the proverbial, sticking the toe in the shallow end, testing the waters? What does the subscriber count look like? What do our numbers look like? How does the XFL do in its first season? Is this something we want to pursue?
And
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like Disney hasn't been involved in wrestling before.
Yeah, a little
freaking
bit.
WCW
Going back to
filmed their
WCW,
shows at the Disneyland Hollywood Studios.
And they have proven they're willing to go into business with wrestlers past or present, because on the next lot was Thunder in Paradise, which was what it was. But
The Rock has obviously got a multi-picture deal with Disney.
Yes.
He did the Game Plan. He did Jungle Cruise.
Tooth Fairy, again, we mentioned earlier.
Tooth Fairy wasn't Disney.
No,
it wasn't.
You would think it was, though.
Yeah,
right?
You would assume
I was going to say, The Rock and Julie Andrews. I Disney there. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the Game Plan. You got Jungle Cruise. You've got a couple other things in the works with Disney for The Rock. There's going to be
Moana.
a sequel.
Moana, yes. Thank you, Noah. Yes.
As a Pixar guy, I had to at least name that.
Which, by the way, since I've last talked about it with him on the air, I've watched both Moana and Jungle Cruise the whole way through. So cheers to my ass.
Now you just got to get on Encanto.
We're going to talk about that right now, though.
Or as the 5-year-old down the hall calls it, Encanto.
Either way,
Encanto.
It's all good.
But, this could be the biggest deal that we never knew that we needed.
Yeah, this news here to our left could honestly, to right on screen if you're looking at it that way.
I was going to say, why are you pointing to me?
Well, wait here. This could be the starting point of something we don't really know it's starting until we really see that snow gather on that pebble down that mountain. We go, oh damn, that's what's going on. So,
Pirates of the Caribbean 6, starring Dwayne Johnson as Captain Jack Sparrow.
I just had
that could actually happen.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Honestly, it's
Stat Boy triggered.
You done triggered the Stat Boy. You done did it now.
And the Dory, she damn near jumped through the tablet just now. What?
Hey, Mikey, just because your Disney outside of work cosplay got picked on by the PWG roster on Moss, don't be hating. Don't be hating on Dwayne.
Dwayne cannot touch Jack Sparrow with a no. That will never happen.
No one can touch Jack Sparrow right now. He's in court.
Right?
Too soon.
I still, Mikey, never too soon. Come on, now this is us. Number one, number two. I am saying this right now in front of everybody. I want this to be a thing. I want you to hear this.
Okay.
I want at the end of this trial for Johnny to show up in full garb at the end of that trial, look her straight in the eye and go, I want you to remember this today is the day you almost captured Captain Jack Sparrow, and just walk out and not say a damn word else. I want that to be a thing.
For it. The most cosplay I've ever had was that Batman cosplay.
Anyway, but yes.
Eric's like, hey, you could have The Rock join the MCU as their Hyperion.
He's already in the DC universe. Why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only thing is right now he still has Black Adam, which is about to come out. And if that
completely off topic. I hate the fact. Completely off topic. I hate the fact that he's Black Adam. He's not Samoan. He's not Samoan.
Well, he's partial Samoan.
He's half Samoan.
Yeah, he's half Samoan.
He's half Black, half Samoan.
Dude, Otta Johnson is as Samoan as it gets.
I didn't know. Fuck.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. That's people call him
Greek.
the first Black World Champion, but he is half Black, half Samoan, technically speaking, because of his mom.
Okay. I thought he was Greek mostly, but fair enough.
Oh, okay, you did it on purpose. Okay.
Oh my lord.
Okay. Make sure Virtue does not see this show. He and I had a good day today talking. For real.
James, screenshot this.
Okay.
Evil. You
I did.
You guys are evil. The whole
I know.
Yes. The chaos that will ensue. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Something non-wrestling related. I'm trying to follow the conversation.
So, Stat Boy, as a former employee of the Walt Disney Company,
yes,
what do you feel about this?
Football and Disney don't mix. Football
Simple
and
as that.
Football and
Okay, I'm gonna
ESPN,
cut you off right there.
absolutely.
I'm gonna cut you off
Football
right
and
there.
Disney, no.
No, he's going. He's ranting.
Oh,
Stat Boy's ranting. I want to hear this. Keep going.
Hold on. I have a very, very important point. Football and Disney don't mix. Is NFL not shown on ABC? Continue, please.
Front row.
Oh, jeez.
30 years plus. 40 years plus.
I don't care that Disney is part of the ABC universe, is part of the ESPN universe. I'm looking at them as individuals. Okay? We know Disney is a giant juggernaut. That is a given. But right now, I'm looking at the individuals here. If I'm just looking at Disney, I don't think football. Hockey, yes, that's a different story. But as because they're all together, yes, bro, your statement is correct. Football, ABC, absolutely. Football has been ABC for years. Okay, Monday Night Football, Howard Cosell, 1980. I don't want to bring up a bad moment, but that's what's happening. Okay, I'm sorry.
But here's the thing. Just because the XFL is on doesn't mean the NFL won't be on, because they're on different seasons. As a matter of fact, if I read correctly, again, we're not all sports fans in the room here. I'm pretty sure Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are going to be the new Monday Night Football team on ABC on ESPN. So it's not an impossibility to have both brands on that network because they're at different times of the year. So
yeah, the XFL begins when the NFL ends,
like literally the week after the Super Bowl. So
damn it, there goes my joke. I was going to be like, can't wait to see XFL on Disney XD fight NFL on Nickelodeon. That will be the true Monday Night.
It's the All-Star game from hell.
Here's a quick thought. If Disney wants to go into the football realm, let's put Mickey on the sidelines in an XFL jersey. Why not?
Oh, hell no.
See, exactly. There's my point right there. It doesn't work.
No, one or the other.
Yeah, well,
good.
Dude, could you imagine too? The headlining acts can be Trubisky again on Nickelodeon, and then you can put.
This is the sporting event from hell that.
On the other side.
And I don't watch sports, and this already has given me nightmares. Yeesh.
Seriously, this is like the Disney crossover I never wanted to envision, but now will never leave my brain. Thank you to a lot of you. You all suck. Burn in hell. Okay. Let's move on to the main event.
Congratulations, Stat Boy.
Wait, I actually have.
You wrong.
I have something to say, believe it or not, about this.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Okay, so my issue, honest to God, is not with the fact that XFL is going to ESPN. My issue is with Disney solely for the way they run ESPN. If you don't know how they do pay-per-views, look at how they do it with the UFC. You pay for the subscription, which is already overpriced as it is. Then they expect you to pay another $50 damn bucks for the fucking pay-per-view.
Whoa. Yes.
Now,
money.
And I don't even want to think about what the hell the WWE going to the Peacock or from the Peacock to this would be, but it wouldn't be for free. Mania ain't for free. They're going to charge an arm and a leg for it after you've already paid for the freaking subscription.
Right.
No. Zero. No. That will not do well. They will do worse than they did in 2013. Period. Story.
I remember when WrestleMania was literally $50 on pay-per-view, so it wouldn't surprise me if they go back to that model.
By the way, Josh, before we throw to you, I just have to say, Wrestleverse, you're banned. You're banned.
Oh, dude.
Wow. He is banned for life.
No. He brought that back. He freaking brought that back. I remember when he first suggested this on the ATW View. He broke all of us. Damn it, Eric, you freaking idiot.
Listen, man, you gotta let Eric do his thing. Eric's the agent of chaos.
I know, Chase, but damn it, Julian Hall? Are you kidding me? You want to hear that voice? That'd be almost as crazy as Julian Hall singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
Yo, who would win in the singing contest? Maki Ito or Julian Hall? Let's do it. Book it.
We're actually a big sponsor of them, believe it or not. So for the record, it wasn't anything else that triggered Noah into high-pitched screeching and put his head down in the desk mode. It was Jillian Hall singing Let It Go. Let me put that out there for the record. That's what broke Noah today on open mic night. Okay. Josh, before we throw to you, I want to throw CC's comment up that said, if Disney can push hockey, why can't it push football? Thank you.
That's almost like saying Disney can push anything in media, like The Rock can make anything turn to gold. Disney almost owns like 50% of freaking streaming at this point.
They've proven it. They can.
It's called The Game Plan. Starring, The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact that I legitimately am going to have it over my ginger lack of hair head that I owe my family $150 just to go to that damn park for one day. Yeah, they own the world. Let's not kid ourselves. All right. Joshua
Mansfield. Now that you're home
that's your
from
home,
your party.
Safe from the chaos that is driving from Cleveland to any damn place.
He's not wrong, though.
I'm not lying.
And Josh, I hope you've got yours ready because I have some Fireball right here for when the main event begins.
Oh, Lord.
I hope you are going to shoot with me.
I don't have Fireball with me, actually.
Right.
I only had one drink today. I had a cranberry vodka.
That still might have been too much for you, man. As Eric said, you can't stop the dark reality.
No, cranberry vodka. That's a man's drink. I am here for Mansfield today. I dig it. This Fireball nonsense. Get out of here.
I will say, I only got that because Caitlin got that first.
Josh, you broke up on me, Josh. Say it again.
I said I only got that drink because Caitlin got it first.
Ah, the Caitlin special.
Good. You know,
Caitlin
honestly, that's been one of the things that's been when she actually orders a drink, that woman knows what to order. It's going to be a hell of a reception. We actually get to do it all together. It's going to be fun. Anyway,
I'm fearing if I'm going to be still straight edge by that time or during that day.
Maybe until that time. After that, you will never be called straight edge again, though. We will corrupt you one way, either at that point or at WrestleMania. You will fall to the dark side. I promise you.
Yeah. I think you will fall before Rift or Greg fall.
But it's all good. No, the dark side has cookies.
Anyways,
I do like
what do
cookies.
you think about this topic?
On the topic at hand, I believe it was James that said, Disney get, XFL, Nickelodeon get NFL. The slime can keep their slime off my football. The mouse can keep its paws off the football.
Whoa, look at that. Microphone box is somewhere.
That's Staff Boy. Has to be.
Yeah, Staff Boy, major issues with whatever you just did.
But I heard Josh Lennon-Clark. He does not want Gatorade replaced with slime, nor Mickey Mouse with a 50-yard Hail Mary.
Yeah, no. Keep football separate from this. Like, I get it. It's the XFL. It's The Rock. And it's Disney. And Disney, well, the mouse owns Florida. So,
at least.
Yes. So, I get it. But at the same time, no. Just no. For goodness sakes, AEW, Shad Khan already owns the Jaguars. We don't need more wrestling and football mixing when we already have that, while Shad's trying to run a football team and giving his boy an allowance to play with his live action figures. So
Oh my god.
Can I put this in perspective though?
You really went there, Josh. You really went there.
You did. 100%.
I will say this much at least. When it comes to kids games, when it comes to the kids broadcast, when it comes to XFL games, can't be any worse than what freaking NFL did on Nickelodeon. Anything is better than what they did with NFL on Nickelodeon.
I never watched NFL on Nickelodeon, so
I literally watched that game, which of course was headlined by Trubetsky versus the Rams. So that was great. Loved that game. It was so boring. I watched that game, and holy crap, the editing on that was abysmal. I could do a better job with my OBS.
Yeah.
Holy Nikes, bro. The slime was off center. The field goal animations were not even in proper places. Like, it was bad. And then they talked about homework and trying to compare it. It was bad. And they had the wrong person up on the commentary booth. Who's the woman that was on there? And then they had a kid there. He actually knew what the hell he was talking about when it came to football. When he was on the field covering the stuff, why didn't you just put him up on the booth? The production was a freaking mess.
Yeah. Trying to bring this back to someone I can actually respect. Let's not forget, Remember the Titans and Invincible, 2 other Disney football movies.
Thank you, Noah, CC.
Thank you, CC. A voice of reason and common sense. Good grief.
Remember the Titans is one of the best sports movies I've seen, period.
I have to agree. When I used to watch movies, I have to agree.
It is damn good, and it does not get near enough press, even as short a time as it's been out. It's been out for a minute, I'm not going to lie, but it's still far too short a time to have already been kind of passed over and forgotten. Exactly, yeah. So
name a better football movie that really had as much of an emotional impact, especially when it first was all out in the industry. Since then,
there are quite a few football movies that definitely hit in the gut, but most recently, but as far as Rudy's a great example of that. But recent ones, Remember the Titans definitely is the last major one I can really think of that really seeped into my soul, even though I'm a ginger, don't have one. There you go. All right, so everybody get shot glasses ready or drinks ready, however you want to classify it, because we about to get serious up in here.
Up
in here.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
That's right.
Up in here.
All right.
Up in here.
I'm just going to throw the graphic up, and JJ wants to go last because he's got quite a point to make.
Okay,
so,
let me go first then.
I was going to say,
it's time for the main event.
Yeah.
Statboy is raising his hand. He may need to go to bed for work tomorrow, so maybe try to.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Honestly, Mikey hasn't gone first yet tonight, to be fair. So we'll go ahead and let Mikey
I don't
go
think he's gone first ever, actually.
Not that I can recall.
This is the first time he's going first at all.
So, for everybody that is unfamiliar and you've not been on your computer the last 6 days, bottom line is Sasha and Naomi went into Raw, were given credit for the night. They disagree with how it was being presented. And again, everything else at this point is allegedly. Went to the producers. They changed it. They went back to Laurinaitis told them it was going to be this. They laid the belts down, grabbed their suitcases, and walked out. It has devolved exponentially since then. Glasses up, throw it back.
I'm gonna wait until I go on my tear.
Fair enough, but I'll go ahead and toast you.
Cheers you.
Yeah. Mikey,
I will stay true to myself.
As you should, Noah. Good on you, brother. I admire that. Mikey, the floor is yours, sir. Not that we can hear you, though.
Oh my God! No, they did not pull it. Yeah,
we can't hear you at all, brother. We cannot hear a bloody thing. Whoa!
Oh,
now he's a Mr. Roboto.
Okay, sorry about that. All right.
You're
good?
wondering who I am.
Yep, you're good.
We're good?
You're all set.
Okay.
Yep.
I can hear you now.
We can hear you now. Yep.
All right.
You know? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can hear me now. Fine, good.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The biggest problem with this storyline is shoot or work. Shoot or work. Which way are you going to go? When I first heard this, I initially said it's a shoot. This is real. This story sounds way too good to be written. Okay, people walking out is, you can make it up, but I mean you got to play it just right. So then we get the reports, then we get the story, then we get, okay, they showed up at this point in time. They rehearsed the match with everybody. They waited until 8:30 Eastern time for this stuff to happen, allegedly, okay? The big point that it's still a shoot is that WWE themselves put the statement out, admitting after 50 plus years that, oh my God, Monday Night Raw is scripted. No kidding, folks.
Oh my God!
How are you saying?
Mic drop. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? How long have we known that wrestling is scripted? For me,
1994, Mr. Joe. Sorry.
Exactly. The mid 1990s was when I figured this. Okay.
Somebody else did.
There are points to why it is a work. And here's one.
If I didn't.
They have not used Sasha's name or Naomi's name. We know what their names are. I'm gonna keep kayfabe. I'm gonna be respectful. I am not gonna use their real names. I wanted to. I tried to call in the Busted Open Radio. That failed miserably. We all know that when something serious happens to a wrestler, being marriage, death, birth of child, or termination, their real name gets put in that statement. Yep. This has not happened yet. Unless you see their names, it hasn't happened yet. Okay. They have claimed through stories that they are uncomfortable working with two of the competitors. That news came out. Hello, you've worked with these people before. That little uncomfortable moment comes up in any workplace situation. It's happened with me many times. I can easily go and say, I don't want to work with this person. I'm going to walk out. But what's going to happen to me? Oh, guess what? I'm out of a job because I'm walking away from my job. Okay, that has not happened yet either. Now, let's fast forward to SmackDown. We knew something was going to come up. We knew something was going to happen. And Naomi and Sasha have kept quiet about this. Who knows why? Nothing's been on their social media accounts on Twitter. I haven't seen anything. I don't have Instagram. So if they're keeping quiet, they're doing a damn good job of it. Michael Cole did not. He looked like he did not want to say what he said. But come on, we knew this was going to happen. Any smart wrestling fan knows that if you walk out of the job, there's going to be repercussions. You're not going to show up to work. You're going to lose your belts. And then the other topic is, come on, the belts don't really mean anything because a wrestling championship hasn't meant anything since the glory days of wrestling. A lot of wrestlers have said the title is a prop. It doesn't have any value to it. So they put down their toys, they got their bags, and they walked. Okay? So we knew this was going to happen. We would love to hear their side of the story. I'm still giving on hope. I want to see them sit down with somebody or go on Twitter Live, go on Facebook Live, go on Instagram Live. Let us know what really happened. Give your side of the story because right now we're getting nothing but reports. We're getting reports from Sean Sapp. We're getting reports from WWE. We're getting reports from Busted Open Radio. We're getting reports from this. We need to hear from Naomi and Sasha directly. Okay? Now, if this is a work, bravo WWE, bravo. I will give you your props. That is one of the best works ever. But I am going to stay fast to this. I'm going to say it's a shoot. I'm going to say it's real because I'm looking at it as the job point of view. I'm not looking at it as the character point of view. I'm looking at the job. They are unhappy. They are not. They wanted to bring some legitimately, albeit a little piece of the tag team division and for the ladies, and they're not happy with that. If they have a problem working with somebody, okay, could they have gone around a little bit better and done that? Absolutely. There could be tons of ways to say, I don't want to work with this person, okay? But to even do it, another issue I have, you're at a job place, you come into, I don't know what a daily routine in the WWE is. I have no clue. You get
it's still
there
a place of employment that provides you money.
Oh, that too. You show up at 1 o'clock at call time. You have a snack from catering. You get your description on what you're going to do. You rehearse the match, which WWE provided in their statement. They had a chance to rehearse it, and then you wait until the 8 o'clock hour, and then go in that extra half hour, and you make Becky Lynch, Adam Pearce, and Corey Graves all use the word unprofessional. something's up. There, I don't. That makes me believe it's a shoot because something in the if they weren't happy, Naomi and Sasha were like, well, let's just do this when the world is watching. Let's not give our bosses the chance. Let's make our bosses squirm. Let's cheat Dewdrop and Nikki ASH. Because let's face it, were they going to win this match? No. Were they going to win the six-pack challenge? No. They were there as the jobbers person, okay? You've got your big names. You've got Becky and you've got Asuka. You've got the tag team champions. You had to have two more spots. And those two spots were Nikki and Dewdrop. They weren't going to do anything. As far as the report that Naomi was going to pin Sasha, come on. I can't believe that one either. I mean, that should have caused the potential breakup of the team. That should have, and then they were somehow going to both go their separate ways, and one was going to go up against Bianca and one was going to go up against Ronda, and they were both going to lose. You just totally screwed up the entire tag team division. So like I say, if this is a work, bravo WWE, you put the wool over my eyes. If this is a shoot and they're not coming back, I can applaud them, but there could have been another way to do it.
We're out of time, everybody. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Mike Night. And by the way, I have to point out for Mikey and Mikey alone that Double A agrees with what you were saying. So that's where you're at, Mikey. Double A is agreeing with you for the night. All right.
While Eric was holding on to every single word of Stat Boy here in the chat.
So was I. I'm going to look back at this and be like, damn, one of the best rants I've ever given.
Been a live mic, and he pretty much said everything I've tried not to say because I don't agree with it the last 20 years of my career. So there goes my credibility. Jesus Christ. Let me do it. Okay, so Josh, you're going to be next. So let me go ahead and try to. Right? No kidding.
You can try and use some of Eric's thoughts, Josh, if it helps you.
What was that, Noah?
Try and use some of Eric's thoughts in the chat to help you.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting take from me. I am in support of Naomi and Sasha doing this because I disagree with Statboy and Aaron that the titles are just props at best. No. They want to make the titles mean something. And to just, yes, they would have been in matches with Ronda and Bianca, but that's not what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be being a tag team and doing tag team matches. I don't blame them for going in there and being like, we want to put respect on these titles. We're tired of the disrespect that I honestly see it as standing up not only for their titles, but for, say, the Intercontinental title, the U.S. title, every title that has been devalued in recent years.
Amen.
Just because Vince doesn't care about it, even though the rest of us want to.
Preach.
Yep. Thank you.
I do not believe this is a work. This is absolutely a shoot. Because, as Aaron posted today on NoDQ, posting while at dinner, that was fun, seeing the boss at work.
Good grief, Aaron. Do you take a break from your
Why
job,
am I
man?
not
Come
surprised,
on.
man? You know what? That's a whole other show for a whole. God damn it. Anyway, carry on.
Well, we were loving it. And he had his laptop with him. It was beautiful. But no, WWE took down Sasha and Naomi's WWE shop profiles.
Yep.
They took them out of the then, now, forever, etc. Yeah, this ain't a work. This is a shoot.
Can I add also to your point, Josh, as well? When Steve Austin walked out, they used his kayfabe name, not his shoot name. Just want to point that out there as well.
That is fair. That is fair. But
so that adds to your point, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that as well. My thing is, Naomi might be safer than Sasha coming back, specifically because Usos and Roman. They have the pull to get her back. I think Roman, at the end of the day, might be the deciding factor of if Naomi and Sasha are fired or not. And I think there is another piece that was noticed this week, big time noticed, but I don't know if anyone maybe thought to connect these pieces. Sasha and Naomi walk out. Stephanie McMahon's is taking a leave of absence from WWE.
It is really
right
weird.
after this happens. And Stephanie, as you know, has been such a big proponent of women's wrestling and building up the women's division again. I can't help but wonder, did she try and go to bat for them and get shot down by her own father in this? Is Vince being that petty right now with this, that he is being so petty of his own ego to not listen to the champions and want to respect the titles of his own company and the fans that want to see the titles defended properly, that he is just going to let his own daughter walk. I am comforted by the fact that Triple H is back full time. That gives me some hope. But I just have to wonder if Stephanie's departure might have to do with this. That's just my thought on that. Yes, Jeff?
I have to break in. I know I'm cutting ahead of it where I put myself in line. I was told just now, as Josh and Mikey to a certain extent were given their spiels, I was not told. JJ wanted to surprise me with what he wanted to have his take be. And I didn't.
And I now have nothing to say because Josh basically said every fucking thing I was going to say.
Oh! I apologize to my partner here, my co-host. However, I did point out to him off mic and off camera that at least we know that your point of view is clearly valid and clearly thought about by more across the wrestling multiverse, because it definitely was brought up.
Yeah. Up until this moment when Josh Mansfield opened his mouth, I have heard nobody say that they thought that the Stephanie walkout was connected to this.
Right.
I agree with you 100% as well. I'm actually on that train. I've been on that train.
As soon as I heard about the Stephanie walkout, I said, I'll bet you this has to do with the Sasha Naomi thing.
And you think about the outpour of support towards Stephanie, who has taken an indefinite leave of absence, from those that are knowingly connected towards what Stephanie's trying to do with women's wrestling, women's evolution, respect, but also have history in and out of the ring and respects Sasha Banks, Naomi. Names including, I don't know, Natalya and Dana Brooke, just to name a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JJ,
and
you
again,
can add if you want as well, by the way.
I literally have nothing else to say because every word that I was going to say just came out of Josh's mouth.
And again,
from talking about the removal of merchandise on the website to the removal from the Then Now Forever graphic to the Stephanie McMahon walkout, every fucking word I was just about to say came out of Mansfield's mouth.
Yeah. Bro, there's more. I got more. I could add.
I need to cover my own corporate ass here. Hold up. Okay. So I'm a little bit tipsy enough where it's going to be difficult. So bear with me here. In my defense, much like what happened with this pay-per-view we watching in the background right now, I was not prepped by the people that were going to be on camera with me as to what they was going to say.
Damn, Rex, we're not scripted.
Why am I talking with an accent all of a sudden? We were at lunch today. Let me get myself white again for a minute here. We were at lunch today, and I asked him point blank, "What are you going to say?" He's like, "No, I want to stay over there." I'm okay. So had I known that was going to be the take, I was trying to let him have the suspense be built and have him be the last point of view, the last people to address. He had a whole presentation ready to go right here in front of the world, and
Josh beat him to the punch.
he did not get to say his opinion before it was revealed by somebody else. So that part is, I feel bad, but much like, sorry, Jenny, I know you're busy. You're not going to watch a damn thing of this till later. Much like Jenny Santana did not prep me prior to the April edition of One-on-One, I did not know what was going to happen just now. So, Lord, I apologize, and maybe the pygmies down in New Guinea, amen.
I
just want to say
I'm
to
gonna quickly
JJ,
interject. Let me quickly interject. Renegade was right. I've got an early call tomorrow, so I'm gonna excuse myself.
See you, Stat Boy.
Thanks for having me on the show. I love you all, guys. Stat Boy out.
See you,
later, brother. Have a good night.
You, man.
Go ahead, Josh. You were saying.
So, JJ, I want to apologize. I had no clue, obviously. Now, I will say, the thought did not cross my mind till I was like a minute or two out from my house, getting back. That thought did not cross my mind till Greg had almost dropped me off here
when
at
I
the
saw
house.
the news brief, that was the first thing that entered my mind because, as you said, she was a huge proponent of the women's revolution.
Yeah.
And here, 2 women just walked out.
2 of her star women, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
the only thing that I haven't heard yet that I guess I can throw out there really quickly before Noah or James take it is, if someone is going to be punished as a result of all this, why were the Usos made the undisputed champions?
Yeah.
I was actually going to bring that up.
More and more and more.
So glad you said it now.
And by the way,
that's basically the only other thing I can interject at this point is like it comes down to the Madison Square Garden curtain call. Couldn't punish Diesel, he was leaving. Couldn't punish Razor, he was leaving. Couldn't punish Shawn, he was your star. Punish Hunter. Can't punish Sasha, she walked out. Can't punish Naomi, she walked out. Who can you punish? The Bloodline, the Usos. Well, we're going to give them the undisputed tag titles.
So they might bring Naomi back just off of the basis of what you just said.
Maybe. I think if either of them were, if either of them are likely to come back, it's going to be Naomi over Sasha. Sasha, and again, James, I'll go ahead and throw to you in just a second. Let me say what I was going to say, that just in case I get cut off at the knees, like I having to poor JJ here. and again, I said my piece pretty much all throughout Thursday nights. This segment on Thursday night's pretty review. I'm not going to go into too much further detail of what I did, what I did not have to say there.
By the way, you're really breaking up all of a sudden. So.
It's probably because I'm moving around too much and I'm just probably all over the place. I honestly think that the take that a lot of people are having as far as Sasha's been a repeat offender when it comes to trouble is not necessarily a hot take or even an unfair take like people are trying to claim. The problem with it is that, yes, she has been a repeat problem of walking out on the company after not getting her way, at least what we've read in reports and what has been said by media. When Sasha walked out after WrestleMania 3 years ago and came back, on the special they did on her, she explained her side of that. And it had nothing to do at that point with creative. It had everything to do with burnout. Now, they are saying that both times she's walked out like this have been over creative. You know what? Steve Austin walked out over creative, and like was pointed out, his real name was used on releases, documents, whatever you want to call it, and he is, whatever you want to say, phrase you want to use, the biggest star in the history of that company. And they were on television less than 5 days later, burying him like he was Barry Horowitz 2.0. Okay? That's just the way it was. Same thing with CM Punk when he walked out, except they didn't acknowledge him at all. They just completely they didn't Benoit him because he didn't commit that far an offense as far as what Benoit happened with his weekend. Girls have very much been given Ultimate Warrior status at this point, and I feel that is wrong. And I say that because the girls have not come out at any point during the last week or when Sasha left previously or anything of that nature and buried the company. Whereas Warrior made his post WWE career appearing publicly, burying the business in one way or another, be it burying WCW after did they really job you out when they paid you that much money? You did basically jack shit, Jim. Really? Or burying Vince because of it's like, dude, you were the only one. You were Honky Tonk Man to Bischoff. Vince could not wait to get rid of you because of all the trouble you were causing. I have not heard to this degree that Mercedes nor Trinity have been this degree of a problem. And like everybody has said tonight, and everybody's been pointing out in the chat room, not one time in any facet of this last week has Michael Cole, has Jimmy, has Corey, has WWE.com, have WWE press release said Mercedes, I forgot her last name, sorry y'all, Vernado. Or Trinity thought too. Those two phrases have not been said once.
Right.
That is the ultimate bottom line for me.
For right now.
Stephanie walking out, I did not even factor in. I admire the fact that you thought of that the minute it happened, and I'm appreciative of Josh bringing it up as well because that didn't factor into my way of thinking at all. Her taking a leave of absence definitely lends legitimacy, as Mikey was trying to say, to the conversation, because her taking a break at this moment definitely does one of two things. Proves that it's a legitimate situation, which is, likely, or it even makes us believe in the work even more than we already are. Let us not forget, boys and girls, at the end of the day, a McMahon is a McMahon is a McMahon. Okay? Vince Sr. never was a shoot in front of the boys or the business. Junior has kind of scaled back on that. But they are still the masters of the bait and switch, the smoke and mirrors. No, not you, Cody. Of that nature. Do not be surprised for one goddamn minute if this is a complete we done fooled you all, including having our chief brand officer say she's taking time away.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah. And yes. And again, what's your guys' friend's name in the Wrestleverse? What's his actual name?
Eric Brown.
Aaron.
Eric, E-R-I-C, Eric.
Eric, what you just said about Stephanie not telling anybody she was departing is what you have read on social media and what you have been reported by NorCal journalists at large and his minions. Okay? Don't believe everything you read. Like I have said since Monday night. And James,
especially
I'll pass
from
it to you.
Keller. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, the last time Wade Keller was relevant was when, I was able to, poop in my diaper and not have to worry about getting in trouble for it. Okay, let me just throw that out there.
Yeah, exactly. Which means he never was credible. Anyway. What
I was going to say was this before I pass to James. Let me just, I forgot what I was going to say now. Damn, I got thrown off. James, go ahead and take it. Well, I think what I was going to say because I lost it.
All right, that's fine. So, I agree with everybody's point. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was going to be in the minority, except for maybe Noah, and I didn't expect JJ and Josh to come out in Sasha here. So, listen. I watched the NoDQ review. I wish I advocated to be on this episode, but I'm here now. So, on open mic night, I have less of a filter, and I can be myself for the most part.
Oh, shit.
But I'm going to try to be semi-professional when I talk about this because while we don't know all the details, and I can say, yeah, if it's at work, I'll say like, okay, cool, whatever, you got me, cool. I'll be the first to admit it. And likewise, if something comes out and this is real and it's on the east side, I hold my right to change my opinion if it does call for it. That said, as of right now, I am on the side of Sasha and Naomi, of Mercedes and Trinity. Okay? And here is why. I'm going to explain. I'm going to put everything in perspective because I actually talked about this. Everything that Booker said on his podcast is pretty much what the NoDQ review said on their podcast. Jeff, you included at that time.
Yep.
So, I am going to add more context to what Josh and JJ have already covered, and Staff Boy have already covered, and I'm gonna read this. I wrote an essay pretty much to Booker in his comment section on his podcast, and I'm gonna read it out for everybody here, and hopefully this sounds like it makes sense, right? This is what I lead in with. Okay, Booker, I'm gonna debate you here and give a theory as to why I think Sasha Banks and Naomi left. Also, my apologies for the long-form essay in the comments book, but I've tried to make sure I leave no stone unturned when it comes to stuff like this, so bear with me, right? If we are to be believed, Naomi and Sasha, or Trinity and Mercedes, wanted to make the tag titles important because that was the role they were given. They also had no plans for the women's tag team champions to defend their titles until Money in the Bank. Again, this is all speculative, but it's worth pointing out and actually putting everything in perspective. Now, imagine that you were promised singles feuds for Mania and going forward, only to then be shoved in a tag team. You end up getting over, make it work, and then they put you in the ring, put you right in a singles program, booked to lose, and then make the champions look less credible than they already are. Imagine if Harlem Heat was to somehow split up, and the tag division was suffering, and you only had 3 to 4 teams in the division. And this is me specifically talking to Booker here. And you were forced to team up with, I don't know, Baron Corbin. We'll throw a name out here. You two make it work, get over, and then you're told you will compete in singles competition. Then, after not defending your titles for 2 or 3 months, put yourself in Sasha and Naomi's shoes. You're telling me that wouldn't bother you in your tag division if it was treated like hers? I don't think it's a black and white as everyone thinks it is, right? Sasha wanted to better the women's division and selflessly, I'm gonna capitalize that on my own thing on this podcast, selflessly wanted to bow out of the main event to focus on the tag team division and help teams get over in the WWE. In the same vein, she even asked other women who are singles wrestlers to be in that main event spot. So she was actively trying to advocate other women to take that opportunity. That's for the boys and girls in the back in Stanford. Hear it, take it, and stop calling them fucking marks. Thank you. Cool. I don't think it was not going over that was the issue. Keep in mind, Naomi and Bianca have been great sports and lost to plenty of people before. Sasha even lost to Ronda at the Royal Rumble in 2019. Women's Match of the Year candidate and that year for multiple publications, by the way. I think Sasha wanted a better division and for the division as a whole to make sense. If you're not going to book the tag team titles, why even have the titles exist? That's upsetting to say, but that's the truth. I think Sasha wanted the tag division to be as much of a priority as the men, which that could be up for debate since neither tag division are booked well, but that's a story for another time. And she didn't get that, and neither did Naomi. And as far as Naomi goes, as far as Trinity goes, she's been trying to get into the bloodline for months on end and kept getting denied or kept getting the runaround, even though her husband advocated for it. Imagine you doing King Booker, again, me talking to Booker directly here, and without Queen Sharmell, because you both got the same runaround treatment. That's what she was dealing with, if reports are to be believed. Now, I'm with you in that we should wait for Naomi and Sasha to come out with something, if anything at all. However, that said, I think it's best we go about it. I think the best way to go about it is to take all the information that we do know, speculative or not, and then hold the right to change our opinion when it's time for us to do so. I think not saying any of this information coming from the other side is not the best way to handle it, right? End quote. And then on just a little added thing that I actually have here, and I'll send it to the group chat later. There was a tweet that in the cesspool of Twitter that came out that says, funny how Sasha didn't mind the tag titles being involved with the singles titles when she was booked to win. And they show the Boss Hug Connection holding all the belts, to which I then replied with, want to also talk about how that was the second time WWE put the belts on them? They tried to make the division, gave up halfway through, split the team, and stopped caring about the division altogether? Not about winning. Not about winning for her, people. It's about making the division feel important.
There you go. That was, you know what? First of all, let me just say that was about as definitive and as well-spoken as you've been without going into the four-letter word land in a long time. And I applaud that, first of all. Yeah. That was the point was made. I love that you sent that to Booker and got his at on. That was well done. I hope he at least read it. I really do.
Right.
That was very well written, very well said. I applaud that. I acknowledge that. That was damn good.
Put that shit on NoDQ. Bump that.
At the end of the day, regardless of what happens now with this situation, Mercedes is going to be proven right one way or the other.
Yep.
Because either they have to book a new storyline for new women's tag team champions to replace them. So they're going to have to build the champions and give respect to the titles in the division, or they're going to give two new girls the straps and do jack squat with them and prove her right that way. So either they're going to make the belts mean something, which is what she wanted, or they're going to make the belts mean nothing and prove her entire point right.
So either way, whether the company likes it or not, at this point, Sasha/Mercedes is going to be on the money.
Yeah, she wins.
She wins here, which is not true.
Like a boss.
Like a boss, exactly. There you go. That's it.
Noah, bring us home, sir.
What else really needs to be said? You covered all the boxes. You talked about the domino effect of the amount of events that have transpired. You talked about the observation of how this is a selfless act to make professional wrestling, damn it, matter more and be better for all under the WWE banner. Key word, folks, there's a W in that X called wrestling. This isn't just entertainment where you can channel surf and get something like a cheap end product that will help you with going better in bed. Then again, NXT 2.0 is trying to do that. That being said, again, we have to see at the end of the day from the other side. All this is right now is interpretation from our minds. And we are speaking amongst each other in a civil matter. Not a brain-dead, stupid personification that you believe you're right all the time and everything you could say or type behind your computer while buried in your mom's basement with a cup of noodles on your desk.
Hey.
And a bottle of Mountain Dew.
That's right. No,
well, depends how smart they are. If they're not drinking Mountain Dew, they're probably dumber than a bag of hammers. That being said,
it's good too, Mr. Shasta on this damn.
That being said, hey, like I said, I keep it real. I talk to you. I just don't go necessarily into rants all the time like James Hebert does too. But that's the thing.
Yes.
But yeah, again, we have to wait and see at the end of the day how this all plays out. WWE, they are no strangers to fooling the fans, pissing off the fans, disappointing the fans. At the end of the day, they just care about getting our money. getting our attention. And regardless what perspective you have looked at this has probably been the most publicity WWE has had on a global front in a long damn time. Even people that don't watch the program are like, wait, what the hell?
You see,
So again,
that's my point about this being a complete nonsense work, because
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, the company's getting coverage in the mainstream media. At the end of the day, there's that, and the fact that Stephanie walked out, which I would agree, in any other business, any other entertainment venue would point to, okay, that's the boss taking a stand for her employees. But Shea McMahon, and this is WWE. If anybody's going to carry the work into that next level, it's going to be this company, it's going to be this brand, it's going to be these people.
Exactly. Again, there's so many different ways that we can interpret this. At the end of the day, this is all interpretation. Nothing is confirmation. We have to wait and see when finally we hear some sort of realistic query from the parties involved, and that is Sasha Banks and Naomi. So whether or not you figure about, okay, will the Bloodline be punished? Well, spoiler alert, they got the cherry blueberry dimes on Friday night. They actually pulled the job.
I know.
Also, they are going to apparently do a tournament. Hey, how big is that tournament? One bracket. Let's see. You got Sasha, you got Shayna Baszler and Natalya, and oh yeah, let me get back to you on that.
Yeah.
That being said,
They can bring in the Riot Squad. Oh wait, they got the Iconics. Oh, wait,
exactly Sasha's point.
Because Sasha Banks knows at the end of the day, she wants to be happy, and she wants others, she sees it backstage, to be happy about enjoying being a professional wrestler. Damn it!
Damn it!
Damn it, damn it, damn it! That's what it comes down to. Sasha Banks wants professional wrestling to be a happier, more better environment across the WWE, particularly for the women that were lucky enough to get something longer than 5 minutes that didn't involve bra and panties. That being said, again, it's one of those things where we have to wait and see when either it's Trinity or it is Mercedes that finally gives us something straight from them, not necessarily a report saying they spoke about this on a third-party podcast with this third-rated podcaster. We have to literally get it from them. If it is a work, then this is one of the greatest works in WWE's history to draw a whole new attention to this company. Whether you want to call it bad, publicity is publicity. Publicity equals money, so does controversy. Ask Eric Bischoff. We have to wait and see what the very first thing is that comes directly out of the mouth of either Mercedes or Trinity. And that's all this really comes down to at the end of the day. But it also, again, WWE, make wrestling for the women matter and be better. Damn it!
Great, Cherry, if you're watching, can we get a "It's Professional Wrestling, Damn It" shirt? Can we make that happen, please? And then underneath it, put the little dash Noah Foster.
I'll give you my design.
And then underneath that, put quotes The Simple Man.
That's right.
I
agree.
Are you trying to get him to make a No DQ Ohio shirt?
I do want to point this out, though. There's just one thing I think that would be perfect to close this out. Thank you, Dory, because I saw the article. I'm actually going to read the last 2 paragraphs of it. This is from Deadspin, specifically from, just so that way I get the article right, isn't it? Eric Bloom of the Deadspin, right? This is what he says, and actually I'll read the last paragraph of this. Cole's proclamation that included announcing a tournament to crown the new women's tag team champions. How many organic women's tag teams does WWE have? A 2-team tournament is just a match. The only logical explanation I could think of for WWE's strategy is to make an example out of Naomi and Banks as a method to discourage other wrestlers from attempting to walk out themselves. That plan will only be successful if Banks and Naomi come crawling back and fully admit how wrong they were, and that won't happen. Ring the alarm bells, people. WWE has uncharted talent relations crisis on its hands, and it's not going away anytime soon. And by the way, that's been the case for a while now. And I also want to point out that regardless if this will work, shoot, or what have you, this does not put anybody in a good light.
No. And I could see other talent doing this too. It might be a domino effect.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to go to Noah before I go further with my thought process here. Josh, just a second. You already stole my thunder once here. Noah,
yes, sir.
Are there enough women on the WWE roster to, even if you make makeshift tag teams, have a legitimate tournament?
After
you're thinking cuts, way too long.
The
answer is no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call this right here. Then the only way this tournament can do any kind of major traction: Natalya and Shayna versus Toxic Attraction.
Exactly. That's literally the only two teams they basically have right now with some sort of identity of tag team chemistry in the WWE.
What happens to the NXT women's tag titles if Toxic
You mean the titles they never should have fucking made? You mean the titles they never should have fucking made?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Well, to play devil's advocate, which I try very hard to do more often than not, especially with the old man in the company, the NXT women's tag team championships should not have been a thing, and the only reason they were, in my mind, was because at the time they were still booking NXT as a third brand, not developmental.
And that's again what really defines the identity now of how far down this wrestling women's evolution has gone in WWE.
Yeah, I said that throughout the week. The fact that the decline of the Revolution began in the build-up to Evolution speaks volumes. That was 4 years ago.
Jeff,
that event happened, and we were already talking about how it was starting to decline. It's only got worse as far as on that front, on that level. Now, again, I may have misspoke what I was trying to get across. Had NXT remained developmental, the NXT women's tag titles do not necessarily mean anything. But I'm sorry, had they remained a third brand, they didn't need a women's tag team championship on that brand only. Because they're developmental, now they do need a women's tag team because they have more women tag team wrestlers on that level as far as at the PC on NXT TV than they do on the main roster. But
because they're literally training those women.
Yeah.
The WWE way.
Yeah, they're training and again, we've all heard the horror stories of the PCs train everybody to be the exact same thing, just with different character tweaks, which, and again, I said this on Thursday night, why do we have to care about what we think, man? They're made like they're printing the shit. So, if they want to create carbon copies of everybody looking the exact same, just with different character tweaks, that's their prerogative. They're still making the money. I have said this for so many years, and I kind of, want to touch on what everybody was saying about James' article that he read, or the article that James read, more people need to do this to make it worth something. We were talking, we got the UWW show on in the background because I promised Jenny I'd watch the damn show. There's a guy on the commentary that looks like Jesse Ventura cosplay from XFL 2001. Jesse tried to do this in the 1980s, and according to him, Hogan dimed him out. They've been trying to unionize. I've been in business since 1984. They've been trying to unionize wrestling since before that, and it never will work because there aren't enough people on contract, on the payroll, whatever phrase you want to use. There aren't enough people in that company that are bold enough and brave enough to risk their livelihood to take a stand and go, no, this is bullshit. And that's the same thing in AEW, even though they're a privately owned company, they don't have to, report everything. It's the same thing in Impact. It's the same thing everywhere. If wrestling was like any other sport, you figure there's an NFL Players Association. We know there's an NHL Players Association because of the freaking lockouts every 4 years, it feels like. Same with baseball going on strike. That doesn't happen in wrestling because it's the fake sport. The problem is there's more injuries likely in wrestling, even though it is a staged presentation because of the nature of the beast.
Yes.
So there should be unions. I got this better. There should be union because they're athletes. They should be unionized because they're performers and actors. Oh, wait, there should be a union for it, period. But there never will be, because the main company in the world that is the wrestling perception of the entire world will never unionize. And because they don't, the trickle-down effect, no other company that I know of has complete coverage. Now, I will say this. I will give a little bit of a, throw the bone credit to Ultimate Women Wrestling, because their general manager, who is their real life promoter, by the way, her other business, her line of work is stem cell physical therapy. So if these girls get hurt in this ring tonight, they get to go get taken care of tomorrow morning at over at the clinic. So they good.
Respect.
I have wished for so long, having been in every aspect of business, one way or the other, be it commentary, be it promoting, be it refereeing, be it, thank God I didn't have to wrestle because I would have died anyway. I have advocated unionization, and you all in this room, and in this room know how long I've advocated for women's wrestling. So if it is a shoot, let me stand next to Mercedes and Trinity and take that stand.
Yeah.
At the same time, as much of a dick as this is going to make me sound like, if this is a work, and they've gone so far as to work us by having Stephanie take time off, let me stand and applaud the company for being the freaking magicians that they are and pulling it off.
Whoa, it's only smoke and mirrors.
I'm just saying, this, either way, this could be something, it probably will be something that we're going to talk about on the level of what happened 20 years ago when Steve Austin walked out, when the Ruthless Aggression era really
or when
took
Punk walked
shape.
out too. Yeah, or when Punk walked
Again,
out.
Punk walking out, I don't necessarily tend to liken with a radical change. And I say that...
Right, you're right. No, you're right.
I understand I done messed with Thunder by letting him go first, but no, don't do it to me right back, because I was literally going to the pipe bomb, because I was in the crowd for the pipe bomb, as were you. So
I was right next to you.
You were literally right next to my ass. So, had the pipe bomb actually promoted and extended radical change, I'd be co-signing with that.
Fair.
But because it completely... The pipe bomb petered out like a defective cherry bomb within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where he was ready to walk out before he actually did. And it took him as long as it took you to come back to watching full time, 8 years to actually want to come back. His love had died way before that, as had yours as a fan. And you guys both came back around the same time because it got interesting. Him on the performance side, you on the fan side. But Austin walking out did so many things. I can't wait to see this match. Did so many things. It forced the entire company to go, okay, you know what? If our top guy is at the creative, we need to take a better view of what we're doing. And look what happened after that. The Rock came out and gave that speech. Again, love, hate, whatever, the reign of terror. Triple H as the world champion and the leader of Raw was a boom period for that promotion, for that brand.
It really was.
Being there. The rise of Chris Benoit, whatever you think of him after that, Chris Benoit being the world champion during that period, the return of Shawn Michaels, and then goddamn SmackDown 6, like Paul Heyman, the writer, thank you very damn much. OVW being what it was at that time. Steve Austin's walkout, love it, hate it, agree with it, which by the way, I don't. But that moment in time where he made that decision to hang up that phone and book that flight out of the Raw and go home, changed everything about the WWE for the next, I'll give it until the pipe bomb era and into the network era. That 10 years was so good.
Yeah.
And then 2012 happened.
Right, yeah. 2012, and again, 2012, love or hated about the fact that Punk was world champion for that whole time. The fact of the matter is, the way the crowd was starting to change, and again, John Cena's being shoved down our throat during the majority of that period. Fans didn't like it, and it kind of was what it was. So, but that the immediate aftermath was so good as a fan. And yeah, remember, I got into this crazy shit that same year, 2002. Granted, my first thing I covered was the Katie Vick angle. Lord Almighty, help me for that.
God bless you.
It was such a good period. I think this moment, regardless if it's a work or a shoot, has the potential to be something that will make people go either, man, this needs to change and be better all around, or man, he got me, that son of a bitch. I need to see what he's going to do next. Either way, I think we as fans may be better off.
I don't know. Maybe it's both. Josh has been waiting for ages now. Let the main go.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
You're good. You guys are all making great points, so I was enjoying listening to you guys. The main, besides the whole Stephanie thing, the main thing that I think shows it's not a work is the fact that they are willing to take money losses on it. Being that they took down Sasha and Naomi's WWE shop merchandise.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it? But
and they took down their Facebook pages as well.
So I counter with that with this. Even though Sasha is who she's related to, numbers I've seen, because they had to release numbers because they're a publicly traded company, even the Snoop Dogg associated merch with her was not doing that well. And Trinity's numbers have never been all that good merch-wise.
I was going to say, out of the two, Sasha's probably the better seller.
Right.
But when you figure, all the other merch that's on the shop, especially the Bloodline stuff right now.
Yeah.
Moving numbers.
Yeah. Needle movers. I mean, yeah, it's I would agree if it was, like I said, if it was Jay and Jimmy being released, and Lord knows after all the shit they pulled behind the wheel of a car, maybe that should be in the discussion. But again, if it was them and their merch was taken down, that'd be like, okay, wait a minute, this is heavy stuff.
Yeah, because the Bloodline is the number one merch seller in the WWE, bar none.
WWE has proven over the years, regardless of what era you talk about, at the end of the day, they are willing to go the extra mile if need be. And Eric makes a good point. The Austin merch didn't get pulled until well into the end of the summer of 2002. And his walkout happened June 10th.
And this was immediate. So, and it hasn't even been a week yet.
And here's the other thing. You guys mentioned no publicity is bad publicity. This is Saturday. It was 5 days ago. We haven't even hit the next Raw yet.
Nope.
We are very much doing exactly what the company did when Austin walked out. Because here we are, Monday night. Here we are, late night Saturday. We might as well be on frickin' Spike TV right now.
It might as well be. Yeah. The only difference is you have the internet now influencing this to a whole nother level.
I do want to point out as well. Yeah, right. I do want to point out.
Mikey did call the belts with props, so we might as well have Big Venom on the show if we're going to go live wire.
I mean, at least I will say this about other companies versus WWE. At least other companies' belts don't have Velcro.
Well, that and how about
now we getting into the nitty gritty here. Jesus, go ahead, James.
Well, here's
and that's when you really turn a belt into a toy. That's not a prop. That's a toy. Anyway, James, go ahead.
Hold on. So this is what I'm thinking, right? So I think that when it comes to this, it again, while they did use Steve Williams' name when he was released, it wasn't until later also. It wasn't until later they used his government name.
True.
I want to put that out there. This is on TV. They're doing this on TV right now. It's very similar to what they did on Raw when they buried Austin. They used his kayfabe name on TV. They used his kayfabe name in the original press release before they changed it to Steve Williams later. That's a crucial point I want to point out. So unless it changes in like the next week, I don't know if we could say this is a work. That's another thing.
Well, again, that was my point. They have yet to use Mercedes or Trinity in any of their discussion. Whereas on WWE television, on Raw, and even on SmackDown, they talked about it on SmackDown that week too. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out. On Confidential, it was Vince McMahon, not Mr. McMahon, and Jim Ross, no cowboy hat, talking about their friend, their comrade, their worker, Steve Williams, leaving the company.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. It wasn't nearly as viewed as many people though. Whereas right now it's viewed by many people.
Not at all.
And that's the
But again, the era of the wrestling industry through the world of social media, where nothing is a kept secret and everything is well known or exposed to the point that anybody feels they can make a conversation out of anything. But the problem is, a lot of that society wants to believe that what they're saying is fact. And all you're doing is literally getting an observation from an event. You're not getting fact. You're not there. You're not them. You're not John Laurinaitis. You're not Vince McMahon. So stop trying to be.
That said,
I forget if it was you Jay, or you James. So forgive me for the because it's been so much in the group chat alone about this. But I believe it was you that pointed out the fact that it was Trinity's friend that was supposedly backstage that gave us the first-hand account. And again, we as fans want to believe so much in that stuff because we want to be part of the magic. I have quoted my friend who's been an Imagineer his whole adult life. I've known him for over 20 years. You know, he would jokingly part of the damn magic, like almost like, yeah, I'm part of it, but it's like, damn, I'm part of this. I'm exhausted. That's honestly what it feels like half the time, because we get so much fed from Disney corporate or WWE, you know, whatever, that in this era, like we've all talked about for so many years, the worst thing about the internet in this world is the fact that the internet's in this world.
Period.
Because
Simple as that.
The internet allows us to do things like this, where James is on the East Coast, Josh is in Cleveland. God bless the poor bastard for being there. Noah's also in Cleveland, or the Ohio area. So God bless
right here
you
in Toledo, Ohio.
So there you go. But we're all able to be on the same screen at the same time because the internet's a beautiful thing. But the internet also allows us to think, either allows us to know too much information beyond what we should, or lets us think we know too much more.
Exactly.
So it's very much double-edged sword.
You never knew me at all.
You never knew it all. That's right. I love that.
The other side.
I love that song.
I love the new theme song for Edge. I just got to toast that right now at the top. Let me just go ahead.
Yeah, fair enough.
Give you a reason to drink some more Jack.
You know what? I've been really good for about 20 minutes. Leave me alone.
I think that this conversation is good because regardless of what happens, we have now left no stone unturned. So everything we're right no matter what. You heard it here first. There you go. Right?
The fact that
I think we basically about covered.
I wish we could say that. I wish we could say that, James, but virtually every other wrestling YouTube channel has covered it before us now. So you haven't heard. The only thing you might have,
and we even talked about it tonight at dinner.
First here tonight. The only thing you might have heard first here tonight is Josh saying that Stephanie McMahon and the Sasha thing could be connected, and that's only because he scooped my story. God damn it!
It wasn't like you read your mind, but.
Well, no, you know. Yeah, it's just one of those situations where I'm glad. I know I said I wanted to keep each topic under 20 or under because of the little one going to bed. I knew there was no chance in hell, even if it was just four windows, like it's been, that we were going to keep this under 20 because it is the hottest story, definitely of this year. I dare say the last 8 years since Punk's walkout. So
I agree.
So, I knew we'd go into this deep dive, and the fact that we've been on this topic alone since the top of the previous hour, so almost an hour now, just on this, I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
And speaking of Punk, just to close out, since we didn't leave every stone unturned, we did.
Right.
In the camp of, in case this is real, we preface that like that. Punk said this on Twitter literally around 4:26 p.m. And I think every worker and every wrestler should hear exactly what you need to hear in these words. And I'm going to actually quote two things here, one from Punk and one from Meacham from 2 weeks ago. Punk said, "Doesn't matter if your opinion of your coworkers is positive or negative. Stand with them because they will do the same thing to you, and you'll wish someone helped. Trust me, you're expendable in that company. Together, you're unstoppable." In other words, to quote Jeff Meacham from 2 weeks ago, one person with their own thoughts is an annoyance. People with the many similar thoughts are scary.
Exactly.
Dangerous and scary. That's it. One person running their mouth, yeah. A group of people with the same viewpoint, look out.
Mm-hmm.
And
start
and
small,
that's the whole
grow
thing.
bigger, and there you go.
And that's the whole thing. Nobody was willing to stand with Punk. Punk unfortunately got himself too chapped at the wrong time because that was in the build-up to Daniel Bryan's greatest push. And people were so behind our boy Bryan Danielson.
I don't know, man. They weren't going to do it.
Well, no, they weren't going to. But the thing is, Punk's leaving forced their hand, which in hindsight, you know what? Maybe Punk had the right idea because his friend Bryan Danielson, our friend Bryan Danielson, got a major positive fallout from that because he was the world champion in a couple months. But Punk also he said it, and I cannot believe, as much as I disagree with a lot of what Punk did, whatever. It was so clear to me in that moment that what he needed to do, he was never going to get well in the place where he got sick in the first place.
Yes.
I thought about that in every job I've had. I thought that in every residence I've had. There's a reason I've moved more often than I probably should have in the last 10, 12 years, because at every point it was like, you know what? I'm not well where I am, and I can't stay put. I'm going to get sick and sicker and sicker. And Punk made the decision to get himself well. He got out of that company. He got that thing on his back taken care of. He vented his shit, and he cleansed his soul within God, I'm getting all emotional. Jesus Christ. Within a year of it, he was done with it. He barely brought it up again after that. It was the crowd that was chanting CM Punk every week. It was the crowd, the voices that he was the voice of when they were voiceless, that continued his voice. He, with all due respect to every single CM Punk fan out there and every person that was anti-CM Punk, including me for 3 years after that, he cared, but he didn't give enough of a shit to really worry about it. He came back to AEW. He came back to wrestling because he realized he missed it. And he saw a group of kids, and I say kids like Frankie Kazarian's this young puppy, or whatever. But I love you, Frankie. Scorpio Sky, who's my age, literally only a month younger than me, and I'm about to be 40 my damn self. He saw a group of talent that weren't so jaded by the machine. And the few people that were have either gone back, Cody Rhodes, or they've realized that they had something left to do there, like Cody Rhodes, and that's why they've gone back. But a lot of those people, I'm telling you right now, I've not met CM Punk except once ever, and that was way before I got to know the CM Punk that he has evolved into, thanks to my dad and everything. He's having the time of his damn life right now. He is so looking forward to a week from tomorrow.
And that makes two of us.
Yeah. We're all gonna have a great time covering it, no doubt. All of us right now. Oh my god, I cannot wait for the next 8 days.
Let's freaking go!
Right?
And the thing is, Noah and James and Josh, if you're going to be along with us too, that starts like 5 straight weeks of something that some group of us is covering on this channel. So,
yep, across all promotions, pretty much.
Regardless if Sasha comes back or Naomi comes back or Naomi realizes what the hell she done made a mistake by walking out with Sasha and goes back to the hubbies and says, please give me my job back. That's cool. Either way, I'm good with it. I hope they come back. I hope whatever they do, whether it's come back to work, if Sasha goes back into Lucasfilm and says please do something, whatever. As long as they're happy, I can be happy as their fan. They're not happy
exactly.
Right now, so that sucks for them.
Right.
And that sucks for them. But we, as a wrestling podcast team, unfortunately, like they've always told us, nobody's bigger than the machine. And the machine has to keep printing out the presses. We've got this tonight. We've got Double or Nothing next week. We've got In Your House and NXT the week, In Your House and Hell in a Cell the week after. We've got NWA Always Ready the week after. We've got Anniversary the week after that, and we've got Forbidden Door after that.
Forbidden Door.
Wow. And then after the week after that's Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
It's the circle of life.
That's a lot of shit.
Seriously.
Moves us all. Not to mention, I have other stuff outside of that, including Dominion from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you guys and him, by watching the product, there is so much more awareness in this room right here that my 20-year-old podcast ass is going, oh, peoples, I love my peoples. So it's good stuff, and I love it. And I'm very appreciative of it, and I am looking forward to, as much as I even pointed out to my sister earlier when we were talking, I'm taking a day off June 6th to go to Disneyland. My ass is still working. I'm going to be at the Plaza Inn on a dining reservation for the Main Street Parade, and I bought specific earbuds that noise cancel because my ass is going to be on Main Street at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, to be with this guy doing Ask the Dads, because that's how much I love this channel, that's how much I love my audience, and that's how much I want to have content. And damn it, I need to make me the money, because Lord knows it's going to cost me a pretty penny over there anyway. I love this stuff.
For real.
For real. I love this stuff, and I love the fact that I can literally bring a phone and a little, seriously, I need my phone, and it'll be in the afternoon. I need this, and I'm good to go for an hour.
The power of
In
technology.
Anaheim, California. Look at this. Wait, no. Keep it up there, Josh. Hang on. Where's my button?
He's gonna
Look
put it right up on the screen.
Aaron Riff with a Mac in hand.
This muckerfucker is out with people at lunch. And it's one thing that you and I are on our phones, because we do that. We're on our phones. And this man brought his work laptop to lunch. And do you know why he did that? I'm going to totally bust his balls for this right now. Do you know why he did that? Because whatever was paid for at lunch, that's a work write-off.
Most likely. Again, Aaron Riff.
Don't worry. Caitlin already did. Caitlin already did. It was funny.
No. It's not likely. I've been doing this with him for 20 years. That is exactly what the hell he done did.
Well, now Aaron Riff has another stronger half with him too. So there you go.
In his defense,
if Greg made that Noah Foster shirt.
That's it. So Greg, if you're watching this on demand, you have a guaranteed buy of the Noah Foster shirt from JJ's Girls. So you got at least one buy. Yeah, there you go.
In Aaron's defense, Yen put up more of the Sasha news. Yeah. In his defense, when we got to dinner, Yen put up the rest of the Sasha news yet. In Aaron's defense.
Fair enough.
Again, this is the machine that never rests. And if you work covering the machine in some sort of aspect, you probably never rest too. I don't know how people like Aaron Riff, Jeff Meacham, Sean Ross Sapp, and other respectable resources, or people that are just trying, like you, Josh, for example, just bring your opinion forward. In your case, just for fun. These other guys, they do it for a living. They need to make the money. God bless all of you, because I sure as hell can't do that. I already can't believe, again, since 2017, when I first became part of the internet, learned what wrestling community was, discovered NoDQ and Jeff and Aaron and everybody else, and formed stuff from it too. I can't believe what I've done since freaking really exposing myself to the fact that, again, I eat, sleep, live, and breathe, and love 6 days a week professional wrestling. Damn it!
Yep.
But I digress.
Dude, I'm surprised my goddamn self
on me since starting these shows, because I was only watching WWE, and I am now watching Impact every week, AEW every week, and New Japan every week.
That is the power of Noah Foster. AEW and New Japan.
Bro, I'm surprised
I
my
probably
goddamn
would
self,
have gotten
man.
into AEW because, you know, if you're going to watch Raw, you got to watch Nitro. You're going to watch AEW, you're going to watch WWE. Got to see what the competition's doing.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
Dude,
again, that's why I watch Aaron Britt's recaps on WWE stuff, because the only WWE brand
Okay,
I watch
time out,
is
time out,
NXT
time out,
UK.
time out.
Hold on.
Guys, hang on real quick.
Okay, so
my
Hi,
daughter
Teresa.
my daughter is starring in her school play of Annie. She is in intermission right now and just popped into the chat room.
Now, Grant, it says Teresa, but it's actually
Aw,
his daughter.
sweet.
My daughter
Thank you.
Natalie. She's just using her mom's YouTube account.
That is the greatest thing. We got your girl and your daughter both watching this craziness.
Natalie,
we love you,
I
girl.
hope your show is going good, sweetheart.
Now, granted, why are we there? Because we didn't get tickets signed, and they're actually filming this show, so we will get to see it. So.
Some of the family went yesterday.
Yes.
The rest of the family weren't able to go because they put the tickets for this play on sale when they put the tickets on for the seniors, and they didn't tell the families of the other production. Yeah. So by the time we found out, there were like 20 tickets available. Period.
Yeah, it was
horribly booked. This was some Vince Russo booking.
You know what?
Okay. Well, I'll be fair to Vince Russo. Okay. This was some Paul Heyman check balance bullshit.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, ooh, ouch. Yeah.
I was gonna say because like I was saying earlier, Vince Russo was handed a complete plate, like freaking Triceratops plate of chicken shit, and asked to make chicken salad, and not even given a full year. Weeks. Yeah, not even given a full playing season. And you know, the thing is, Bischoff worked from a deficit and managed to build the company back up. Yeah, because he had the right talent. Russo didn't have the talent nor the resources from the corporate company going, here, you got to do this. It's like, no, they were trying to handcuff the guy who, you know, was putting out freaking porn stars and pimps on the other channel.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't do that. Okay, so I'll be good. Next week they're having freaking Hall and Nash wrestle porn stars. Like, that's all we said. So I am totally on the side of, I don't pick on Russo's booking at the stage because Virtue's right. And Virtue's right. God, please don't tell me I said that. Jesus Christ, I'll never hear the end of that now.
Josh, he said it. He said it.
Someone timestamp that. He said it.
The fact of the matter is, neither Vince Russo in WCW, nor, you know, I'll even go one further, nor Vince Russo's second go around in TNA, or even Hogan and Bischoff's in TNA, were given the ball at a clean slate.
Yeah.
Which is why AEW is working as well as it's working, because yes, you've seen these talents before, but they're getting some of them, but you're given a complete slate. Like, okay, this is what we want to do, but y'all do you. That's why, as much crap as I gave this company, UWW, as far as their ticket pricing, the fact that they offer the show on pay-per-view now, and we've got women we've never seen before, and we've been watching in the background, these matches themselves have been pretty damn good as far as the in-ring work. We haven't been able to hear the commentary because we're being respectful to our audience, not being complete dickheads about it. But based on in-ring work and presentation alone, I ain't mad at it.
No.
So I would have paid $10 for this show on pay-per-view if I just found out about it yesterday. So the fact is, clean slates are so important, and the fact of the matter is, our main event topic we talked about, neither one of them, but especially Sasha, has a clean slate going into last Monday night.
No.
Exactly.
So that's just the way it's going to be. And like we talked about earlier on the show with the kids and the coasters, there is no such thing as unbiased human opinion. Those are complete oxymoronic phrases.
Absolutely.
So,
and you don't need Ash to tell you that from the mountain of omnipotence either.
I had a biased opinion, and I was surprised I was able to get in an essay form without saying the word fuck.
Oh, damn it, James! You just said it!
You know what, though? You know what? He only said it to describe the fact he didn't have to say it. So, James, I applaud you. I'll even grant James this. If he wants to come in next week, or in 2 weeks, during our Hell in a Cell watch long, just to say how effing bad this effing show is, oh my effing God, why are you watching this effing crap? You are welcome to come in. Just wait about 10 minutes, though.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right, yeah.
Chase Hebert's rage on the red crate of hate. Jeff, what have you unleashed?
Enjoy the red crate of hate, you fucking animals.
So, Jeff, I'm going to tweet what
I need to make a much better graphic of that because the one I made kind of like crap.
We totally need a poster of that.
Yeah. Trust me. While we're doing this, I'm going to work. Who is this, by the way? Was she on earlier?
I think that's Christina.
That's not Christina. Is it really? I guess you know what? The freaking Mohawk's not throwing. It's throwing me off anyway.
Oh, Lord.
Rocking the hot.
Yeah, it's throwing me off.
All right. So Josh has a thought.
Does anybody have any plugs or anything? And Josh, I know you want to go first. Whatever you're going to say now, and then while we're out there doing your plugs, I know.
Yeah, you're good. Before we do the plugs, I just want to say, Jeff, I'm going to tweet what you just said for a second. And you just said, no, there's no unbiased, no one has an unbiased wrestling opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
And thank you for just giving me the title for my next column.
All right, good.
4 Mike nights in a row that we have inspired Mr. Mansfield. You're almost
Making it on
forgiven for
NoDQ?
stealing my
I am
hot take.
Jericho'd out right now with my matches.
Honest to God, I don't blame
17.
you.
This boy watched a lot of Chris Jericho lately. I'm not going to lie. Are we getting the phone call that way? It's spazzing or what's going on?
No.
Respect, Josh. I would have watched that with you because, again, I'm crazy. I always watch wrestling when I'm not working or playing a game or sleeping.
Hey, hey, look at the article. The matches I watched are on the article.
I did. I read your article and I watched those matches because most of those matches I've already seen. Good stuff.
I did too, for sure.
And thank you to Jeff for the Word doc he sent me with links to the AEW and New Japan matches.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Again,
no problem, brother. Glad to do it.
Jericho, the GOAT, the king of innovation,
Not the GOAT.
character reinvention,
Not
wizard.
the GOAT, but
definitely a goat.
A GOAT for sure.
A GOAT.
He says the. That's why I said the. D in
That's
lower case font, not all caps font, but he definitely is a GOAT for sure.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I do have to ask this before we do
Josh,
plugs,
go
Josh.
ahead, James.
I do have to ask this before we do plugs, Josh. Between the two that were compared, has your opinion swayed on Jericho being better than Michaels, or it's still the same?
I still think Michael's over Jericho personally.
Fair enough. But
What's
you
wrong
know
with that?
what? At least I'm glad you at least gave it a damn shot, because a lot of people are just like, I'm right.
And that's literally what I was talking about earlier.
As great as Chris Jericho has consistently been for his 30 years in the business, that many Chris Jericho matches in a short amount of time, dude, you definitely need a Jericho detox without question.
100%.
At least till Sunday.
Okay, there's another shot later.
Right now,
At
he's
least
a
till Sunday.
revolutionary force in sports.
That's right. And we will be seeing Chris Jericho not this time slot because we'd be out there by now for the pay-per-view, but in a week and a day, this team in some form or another will be back on for, again, Double or Nothing, In Your House, Hell in a Cell, Always Ready, Slammiversary, Forbidden Door. We are going to be the busiest bunch of knuckleheads this side of the Mississippi, if I can say Mississippi without trying to start over my drunken ass self, which is never going to happen again. So thank you all for sticking with us for the entire over 3 hours, which we were supposed to go 2. You're right. Again, Josh has the columns on NoDQ right now about the Chris Jericho list, and he also has an interesting take on the best WrestleMania matches. Is out on social media right now, so we appreciate Josh's the influence we've had on Josh, the horrible influence we've been on Josh Manfield's watching habits and his poor little fragile mind. So God bless
Definitely
you.
some hot takes on that WrestleMania list. The fact that there's
I know.
no
I'm aware.
vote and no Iron Man match. Again, subjective, like we always say on Ask the Dads and Dad's Not Always on Wrestling. But definitely some hot takes, the fact that those two are missing. Anything else you would like, Josh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Anything else you want to plug, Josh?
Just follow me on Twitter at CatholicJosh122. Again, you can read my columns, on NoDQ. I have my main monthly column is my Mansfield matchups, where I run down my predictions for that month's WWE pay-per-view. word of a wise, when you're reading it, read it in an Adam Bompier voice, because that's the voice I write those in.
Hello, I'm Adam Bompier
Wow.
from Wrestling Talk, and these are 10 matches that I believe you will enjoy.
So anytime I see Dwayne The Rock Johnson, do I have to read it Dwayne? The Dwayne.
Yes, always, always, without question.
And I'll be posting my pictures tonight or tomorrow from the NoDQ Ohio gathering. It was a fun time.
I love it.
Meeting Virtue was an absolute joy. I will say, I will save those words.
Yeah, I can't
and
wait
I got
to
the
hear.
Triple H point from Greg.
Hey,
and I gave Greg the Triple H point.
By the way, I'll be on the NoDQ the review with Virtue soon. So, there you go.
James, let me know which week you're on there, brother, because I'm definitely going to be on there with you.
I'm going to.
That's right.
So there is a pitch out there from this man. At some point or another, I'm going to try to make this happen. He wants a NoDQ review 4-man team with the original review team of Aaron and Virtue and the Dats. Just the 4.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Amen to that, yes.
Throw that out there this week to Aaron.
For those of you that have any influence with Rift, make it happen.
Make it official.
Let's get it. Let's make it so, like Picard would say. Make it so.
Might as well have him do that because he's getting killed every damn else he is. Anyway,
James,
plugs, my friend.
You guys can follow me on YouTube.com at this handle right here. That way, it's I don't have to keep reading it off. I can read this URL. My CAW League. You people know I have it by now. It's basically a promotion off a video game. The knee fed, literally. There you go. YouTube.com/user/WYW Pride. Check it out. Got some cool stuff on there. You can also follow the Twitter at Weymouth Youth PC. That's WEYMOUTH. And also follow us on Instagram at Weymouth Youth Wrestling. A bunch of clips of the matches on there. I think you'll enjoy it. If you like wrestling, I think you'll like it. And if you like video games, I think you'll like it. There's something in there for everybody. We got a good little buffet going on over there when it comes to the world of professional wrestling. And then on top of that, you can stay tuned to NoDQ. I'll actually be on the NoDQ review at some point in the next 3 weeks' time, depending on how schedules work out, according to Aaron. So, God rest her, I'm going to be on a freaking thing with Virtue. That should be fun. And on top, yeah, right. On top of that, Wrestling Rundown on the Wrestling Fortune 44 channel on YouTube, youtube.com/user/Wrestling Fortune 44, where myself and this man, Noah Foster, got to point the right way, are going to be. I might have pointed the right way. I don't know. Noah is going to be on hosting along with Owen Finch, who is the runner of the show, and I will be streaming in the background. So there you go.
He used so many single-letter phrases there. I want to say you can catch us at June 6th at MICK White House. But anyway,
Noah Foster.
Noah Foster, take it away, for the love of God.
Oh my gosh, I love professional wrestling, and I love you guys. I'm so blessed to be part of this wrestling family. That being said, folks, again, it's the week of Double or Nothing and All Elite Wrestling, celebrating 3 years of this great company, because that's professional wrestling! Damn it!
But
I digress. I'm an Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, man, Foster9016, where I wish to only encourage you to adjust your life and enjoy professional wrestling too. As I look at all things wrestling, I will be with James Hebert and Owen Finch for the Wrestling Rundown. Later on this week, there'll be another ATW View, where we will preview and discuss Double or Nothing in full. Back here on the Jeff Meacham Network, I'll be here providing you play-by-play commentary for AEW Double or Nothing, as well as preview and predictions for that, while we keep tracking the Jeff Meacham Network predictions game. Later on this week, I'll be on NoDQ, as we also do Double or Nothing preview and predictions. And the forum for that league will also be live on my Twitter. I will also be with the Daily Slam as we do an AEW Rampage recap and review, and also AEW Dynamite review as well. There is so much ahead for this Simple Man Professional Wrestling too, so stay tuned all across freaking YouTube. But as always, I like to close. There are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. There are just fans with no opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another and respect each other, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. Simple as that.
That's right.
Damn it.
All right. As I try to get this ready, as JD's getting ready to talk, because I didn't have the one graphic I wanted to have ready for this.
Of course not, because you had one job, Meacham.
You know what?
Yeah, I am not Quizzlemania material. That is Greg Cherry. But I almost did forget. Later on this week, stay tuned for a premiere on Combat Wrestling Trivia. I had my first ever match.
It's him against his buddy Paul.
Nice.
On CWT. Good grief, Charlie Brown.
I will just say with
All
Greg,
right, so I've got a lot
the
of stuff
absolute
on.
giddiness that Aaron had
Oh,
today,
yeah.
stumping Greg with the trivia question.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And that's why he has the belt.
Right.
All right, so I got a lot of stuff that I'm going to run through here. I'm going to try and do it quickly. I don't think I can talk as quickly as Noah, but I'm still going to try to Brian Cage it and get my shit in. If you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Casa D18 Studios, you will see my most recent review, which went up today, my review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Tomorrow, a brand new episode of my new endeavor, The War Zone, over on my channel, where I kind of break down some of the newest acquisitions to my movie library. Monday, come back as we continue Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson month, and we talk about his first flick with Kevin Hart, Central Intelligence, which will be immediately followed by The Dads Not Always on Wrestling, as we take a look at the top 10 greatest matches for the most electrifying man in all of entertainment.
All the things.
The Dwayne.
The Rock.
The Dwayne.
Yes, the Dwayne, damn it. That's right.
Wednesday, I'll be doing my review of video game turned movie. No, not Doom. I'm not putting y'all through that.
We appreciate that.
Rampage. No, not AEW Rampage, but the video game turned movie Rampage.
There you go.
Friday will be my review of Skyscraper. That's the botched graphic because it has Jumanji and not Rampage.
I'm sorry.
Botch!
Botchamania running wild.
Then, as we already touched on, this weekend will be the coverage of Double or Nothing. I am very much looking forward to this. This is going to be the first AEW pay-per-view that I watch in real time, start to finish, because I am invested in the storylines and the characters at this point.
Amen.
So this is going to be a big deal. I know Noah is giddy to get me involved in that one. It's going to be just a lot of good stuff. And then the following week, I wrap up my Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson coverage with Red Notice.
I'm not going to try.
Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, Netflix original movie.
Yes.
And then, as Jeff touched on, June, we've got NXT in Your House. My first time going to be calling a pay-per-view with this man, the simple man, Noah Foster. Very much looking forward to that. We got to make sure that at some point we do get that still image of James petting his cat, though, so that we can throw that up there, since that's more important than calling the WWE pay-per-views, the PLAs.
Wait, my cat? Wait, my cat?
Yeah, that's what you put in the chat room. I'm going to be petting my cat or something. So that's why I keep running with that joke, because you put that in the chat.
Oh, that's so good.
The following night will be, what are we calling it? Red Hating the Great or some shit?
The Red Crate of Hate.
The Red Crate
Abandon
of Hate.
all
There
hope,
we go.
ye who enter through this gate. Oh my God.
What the hell is up with the phone here?
And then there is what is going on the Jeff Meacham Network beginning Monday all the way through July 2nd.
Yeah, I don't know if we're doing NoDQ reviews on those 2 days, but yeah, I'm not bullshit when I say I've literally got 4 days off.
Look at my weekends and look at open mic night. Good Lord Almighty.
I'm ready. Let's go, I guess. Yeah. I'm always ready with you boys, by the way.
Hey, we got Camille versus my home state girl represent representing CCW, CCWFL, and Mission Pro Wrestling, representing Women's Wrestling proudly, the mother effing king, Kylan King. Can she dethrone the foundation that is the Brick House, Camille, and dethrone her of the Burke? We will soon find out.
I still want Noah as my panelist for WYW pay-per-views just to cover. So good. Like, he's a salesman.
And then don't
like,
forget...
JJ said it before, man. He's a great salesman.
And then don't
He's the
forget,
spirit of
everybody,
Joey
the
Styles.
June 24th edition of Open Mic Night, we're going to present our own Forbidden Door cards.
Fantasy booking, baby.
I already have my main event booked, and if I say so myself, gonna Arn Anderson here toot my own horn, I think it's going to be hard to beat my main event. So,
This is a world I've never explored, just because I've always loved the fact of storytelling. I always thought I would be a commentator. So, oh boy, we'll see.
And Jeff hates fantasy booking too, with a passion. He hates fantasy booking.
I'm ready for fantasy
So,
booking, man. I
so
live for
this is
shit.
going to be a lot of fun, and we'll throw it out there to our fans. Here on the Jeff Meacham Network, Casa D18 Studios, James's channel, Noah's channel, if Jeff can remember to check the right box, for that episode. Have them interject and see whose card they think is best.
There you go. And just to show you that JJ's also got his booking well in advance, I do have this graphic ready at least.
Hey!
There you go.
I did get that right, didn't I? We're good here?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, his June will be movies with only one sequel. So
no trilogies, no franchises. It was just a movie. Oh, let's give it a sequel. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
I hope we're still doing the Rush Hour series, right? That's our first.
Eventually,
that'll probably be when I do trilogies next. Yes.
I love that series of movies.
So Rush Hour, Beverly Hills Cop, Look Who's Talking are 3 trilogies that I'm considering for the next time, because we stumbled into the original Look Who's Talking on TV here the other day.
We did, dude.
And it was like, dude, I forgot how good the first 2 movies were. Now, I never saw the third one with the dogs. Never had desire to watch it. A lot of people saying don't even bother, but every movie review can't be Citizen Kane. Sometimes you gotta cover the crap along with the classics. So
Accurate.
If I'm gonna do the first 2, which are gold, gotta do the crap too.
Respect.
I also want to point out on the double or nothing coverage that we're going to be doing on this channel. We talked about it being on many channels. Get that up real quick. Not only will it be on Jeff Meacham's channel and my channel and the Casa D18 Studios channel, JJ's channel, and Noah's channel, it also will be on Casey's channel, because it's going to be not only a watch-along, it's going to be a watch-along fiesta. As many people know, if you're a fan of FTW Productions, I actually host the watch party. So it's going to be a collaboration effort from all of us in this circle. For the most part, it's going to be everybody that you see on here. Probably Casey's joining up as well. Maybe Nikos. I know some people from ATW View want to join them. We'll talk to Jeff about that. But it's a collab effort. I'm actually going to have my own graphic of content I'm going to be having my own premiere and attractions on this channel soon. I'm actually making the graphics for that right now, which does remind me, Jeff and JJ, send me your preview videos that you made, that content coming up, because I'm gonna put it all together. That way, it's like, oh yeah, one video.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, because I can easily do that now.
Yeah,
kind of like the
JJ
trailers
has his June trailer ready. I just haven't aired it myself yet. So
kind of like the trailers at the movie theaters that do like the back to back and then the coming attractions.
Exactly. That's exactly why I started doing that, because there's so much content on all these channels. It's like going to a movie. You get the previews first to see what the hell we're going to see next.
My channel, I'm just out of nowhere. I just do live, simply predicting panels. I keep it simple.
Right. So JJ's asked me to put this comment up. I don't even know what he's going to do to me, so bear with me here. But
who is this? I know.
Eric. It's Eric.
That's our buddy,
okay,
the agent of chaos for ATW, Eric Brown.
Eric Brown.
Okay,
yep.
Eric. Just so you know, I already covered the entire
entire Star Wars saga, prequels, Solo, Rogue One, original trilogy, Ewok movies, Star Wars Holiday Special, the most recent trilogy, the Family Guy Star Wars movies.
It's a wrap.
Plus, then I finished up with Star Trek, and I boldly went where no man went before. That was all part of last May on the Casa D18 Studios channel. So just go to my channel, look it up in the archives, and you will see my reviews for all of that content.
There you go, Eric.
And you know what? I wouldn't go as far as to say they're GOAT, Ken, but I definitely feel that the prequels get a lot more crap than they deserve, bar none, because one of my favorite scenes comes from Attack of the Clones. Period.
Yes.
And Eric, with a rebuttal, I don't acknowledge the ST because they are pure despair from a story perspective, in my opinion.
That's a lot of the Disney hate that goes along with those. I don't really necessarily subscribe to those. Then again, I'm all Disneyed out today, so I really can't be unbiased, like I said earlier. Anyway.
Do we want to go down the rabbit hole on this when we're finishing our plugs?
No, because y'all are ahead of time as we are anyway, as it is, and we got a little one trying to go to bed down the hall. We're trying to get off the air here, but I will say this. In addition to what y'all saw through July 2nd, we will have SummerSlam coverage. That is going to be a thing. If I can figure out how exactly I want to cover this, we're going to try to cover the Flair's last match event because it is a Crockett presentation, and I love some Jim Crockett promotions at the end of the day. So I will see what we can work out, who we can work out for the record also. But after July 2nd, there are two major things on this network, the Jeff Meacham Network alone in July, that I definitely want to get out there just so y'all can be thinking about it.
Oh, boy.
The anniversary of the 1997 Bash at the Beach, 96 Bash at the Beach, even though it's on a Thursday. But it is July 7th, so
I'm ready to get in
member
there.
of the NWO, is that what you're going to try to do?
Yes, sir.
Have me on. I want to be a part of this.
I will be as many people as want to be on within a 10-person window limit. So,
dude, this is something we got to pre-tape just so we can throw it up in black and white.
Oh, without question. That was the idea. Yeah. I usually do it live, but this one has to be a pre-tape. And then the following weekend, so the 16th, some of y'all know this date already, but in case you don't, 15 years of this damn show of mine that freaking started on a whim because of a horrible tragedy. Yeah, oh my God. So, much like the Katie Vick thing started Extreme Mayhem.
Well, you know.
And speaking of that, in October, we don't have the time yet because Aaron's on his own little schedule, as we all know. But this will be a thing on Tuesday, October. I'm pretty sure that's to the day because I'm pretty sure it was a midweek thing back then. So
that's incredible.
I sit there and look at those graphics. I go, damn, 15 for Talk Wrestling, 20 for the NoDQ media franchise as a whole. Like it just blows me away.
Well, congrats to both you and Aaron, Jeff. You definitely, you made it to this point for a reason, and you deserve it.
Before we get out of here, I want to try and put three things out there in the world. We already touched on me for the NoDQ review. I want to make that happen some point before the end of the year. The other things I want to do is I want to put out there, I want to do a debate against Virtue. And I want to go on Jack of all trades.
Right.
Oh.
Greg, if you're watching, I watched my first episode of Jack of all trades the other day. And I think I can do good at this one. I'm not good enough to challenge you for the strap. I'm not ready to go on Wrestling Trivia Challenge yet. But I actually got some of the questions that your other contestants got wrong right.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would have dethroned the champ based off of my score if I had been on that episode.
So that's to Maddie Laws as well as to Greg, for the record. So there you go.
And
there you go. I freaking Josh in there cursing himself now. So there you go.
While we're putting it out there in the universe,
coming from my boy Maddie Laws.
While we're putting it out there in the universe, let's make this a special episode of Jack of all trades. The champion versus
Oh,
West
wrong Jack.
Coast
I'm sorry.
Professor was Jeff Meacham versus me versus Stat Boy.
Now that's a match I would be interested in
Casa
seeing.
Invasion, the Greg Cherry brand. I'm here for it.
Oh,
You gotta start building this on the Greg Cherry show for sure. Tease it better than the teasing The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
I have a question.
To quote the great and powerful Jeff Meacham, right, Jay? Here's the thing. July is already stacking up to be a banner month for me because I've got the 7th of the NWO stuff, the 16th, my Talk Wrestling anniversary. That Thursday, the 14th, I ain't got no kid. I ain't got shit to do. That could be the jack of all trades for that month.
Greg Cherry brand, acknowledge me.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Now he really throwing down the gauntlet.
By the way,
Yes, sir.
before we call it here.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more, right?
As seen on TV.
20-year anniversary you were talking about with you and Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I have to ask if I can get him on and see if I can work out something. Would you also invite Mr. Wade Needham?
I didn't get the last part. I'm sorry.
What was that?
Would you invite Mr. Wade Needham if I was able to get in contact?
I would love to have Wade on with us for the anniversary. He's been a huge part of that 20 years. Absolutely.
That's why I'm recommending maybe.
Josh has his phone
get
in his
contact.
hand. I wonder if he's messaging Greg.
Nope, he's got the picture.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he gave Josh the endorsement like I did when I met you, Josh, at Fastlane 2019.
To be fair, Josh is wearing his damn T-shirt that we've all plugged so many times over the years,
Right.
over the year last year. So yeah, I get it.
I
love it.
was wearing the shirt today, JJ.
As you
I
should,
am
Greg.
Team Greg Cherry brand.
That's it.
See?
You
I
don't,
knew there was a
don't
reason that he
come
stole
for my
thunder.
boy
He-
Matty
That's right.
Laws.
He knew.
He is my dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Josh Mansfield, and I am the advocate.
Just real quick. You're green. Everybody
Jesus,
has
hold on,
their
here we
brand,
go.
man. I'm Team Green. Look at me, man. I got green
James Lawson,
here.
Dark Status.
I got green here. I got green here. I got green on the background of my phone. I'm green everything, man.
Okay,
I'm
stay
green with
tuned,
MD.
folks, for the parody to Eiffel 65 song I'm Blue, courtesy of James Hebert.
I mean, to be fair, this was
Green,
also
dabba
virtue.
dee dabba die dabba.
Bang,
And just
green,
remember,
dabba,
it's not easy
dabba,
being green.
Oh my gosh, we've gone off the rails, and I'm sober.
Shit. Oh, see, even
And
Virtue
don't worry,
posted with
folks,
people
when
watching
that-
Greg. You know Virtue had a good day when he's posting positive. So there you go.
When we do that fiesta 8 days from today, it will not be Survivor Series insert year here where they had 6 people on commentary. Your commentary team will, of course, be me and James Hebert and Casey if he's along for the ride. Your primary 3.
It'll be a primary comment team, but there'll be so many people in the various rooms that it'll feel like Survivor the episode, not Survivor Series the pay-per-view. Anyway.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of reactions.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be focusing on the screen. That's why I don't look at the chat.
Right.
Oh, nice.
That's what I do. That's my You know, that's actually good because I wish wrestling in particular and sports in general got more mental health coverage on major news because it's such a big, and we're still in Mental Health Awareness Month. It is still May. So I applaud ABC News for doing that and AW for getting their stuff out there. That's very cool.
Yep, and
That's
again,
cool.
folks, break
Yeah,
the stigma.
that is a
You
great
are
way
not
to
alone.
find
Everyone faces challenges too. Take care of yourself. Be a friend towards each other too. Again, my mom, God bless her, she has stress, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorders. I was born developmentally delayed. Sometimes I don't know what to do with myself, and I have I have autistic friends. Everybody has situations. No two people, yes, James as well. No two people are the same. Take care of yourself. Take care of others too. We're all in this together. You're not alone too. And shout out to the bunny, Allie, being a mental health advocate in her own right. Shout out James. In her own right, I think she helped lead a mental health event with AEW Heels with Aubrey Edwards and I think the legal counsel, Megan. So kudos to her. So again, folks, take care of yourself. Mental health matters.
Yes.
As the mayor, as the one-time mayor of Cincinnati said a long time ago, many times on his shows, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll see you next time on Open Mic Night. And this guy and I will see you Monday night for the dads. I'm always on wrestling. Have a wonderful night. Thank you all for joining us, and Godspeed y'all to bed, y'all. Go to sleep.
Merry Christmas.